like day one after like not a shampoo, my hair is like the perfect type of
Yeah,
manipulation. I don't know
I
what
feel
type
that.
of word you'd say there, but yeah, doing good. How are you guys?
Good.
My
Doing
sold
good.
sign went up on my condo. It's actually official. So
Oh, there you go. That's good.
celebratory. Yeah,
Very
coffee this
good.
morning.
Mm-hmm. Celebratory coffee. Yeah. No, I feel it. The hair. I feel like there's many times I look at it. It's great for 2 days, and I can't get back the same way. So
Hmm.
I have to. I'm not sure because welcome to After Nine as usual, the monthly episode. We will be link in the next 10 minutes. We'll be dropping. We'll be bringing all the patrons in, stuff like that. If you are planning on joining early, because Taylor's not here, so we're running on StreamYard, so we don't always hit like the 10 people cap. But if we do, that's where we can swap in and out and stuff. But that's I thought I'd heard rumors that they might be moving to 12, which I thought was like an odd number, but still more the merrier. But just know. But yeah, you can join Patreon. The link is down below for everything you need. No. That's GV episode. I'm programmed like a robot nowadays. Everybody, if you want to call in and join, the link is down below. You join our Patreon, support us, get ad-free, early exclusive episodes, and you get to call in every month when we do this. But yeah, I'm Tress now. I'm joined by the guys here.
I'm
The
Kirk
guys.
McAllister. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Just
guys.
one
One
of
of
the
the boys.
guys.
Yeah, yeah. After nine, I try to be a bit more casual here. We're just hanging out, talking. Plus, it's a Sunday morning after nine, which doesn't. It's a rare one. It's like usually I think we've even done Saturday, but Sunday morning, people are probably at church still and everything. But
How does Sunday mornings go for you guys? Like on your overall, like looking at your week, like is it like a really high point in your week? Like I love Sunday mornings because it's just, I don't know, you work tomorrow, but you're not quite there yet, so you can still just kind of relax or is it like I got tons of stuff to do on Sundays? Like how does that usually work?
Usually it's just like going grocery shopping on every Sunday is pretty consistent. And then I guess any other chores, but I don't know. I never feel like I'm that overwhelmed. I feel like I'm usually doing chores and things consistently enough that I never get bombarded by one day where I have to do too much stuff. So Sundays, I do love a good Sunday. I'm a big Sunday fan, but I also like doing some podcasting on Sunday. I think it's a good pocket for that too.
Sunday
Absolutely.
nights suck though, because that's the sleep, and then tomorrow's the next day. So it all depends on like this. I don't know. We were talking about this the other day, me and Emily, of like this. Is why I wish, at some point in my life there can be the 3-day system, whether it's working 10 hours or working. What I would hope is just that you make enough money, the same equivalent to the 5 days and 4 days, because I feel like the perfect regimen is. Like if you had 3 days, you would have like a do stuff, like whether that's like, going out to see friends, birthdays, like there's always stuff that happens on the weekends, right? Where it's like, oh, do this. And that sometimes can take a block. So if you had 3 days, it'd be like the do stuff day, the chore day, and just the rest day. If I could have a rest day, because if I get this weekend's fine, because yesterday was pretty much a rest day. And this one's for the most part, it's kind of not the greatest weather here right now. But some weekends, when you got those weekends when it's like you're booked the whole weekend, of course, it's a weekend, you're not working, but you just feel like, man, I could have used just an hour or two just to mind numb and stuff
Just
like
to do
that.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Do
So,
nothing.
but usually I feel like Sundays are that day, because I feel like all the stuff that happens Saturdays are that, like if it's a kid's birthday or like when Gwen has dance, that's Saturday. So I feel like Sunday is more of a rest and get stuff down day. And after we're done casting, I know we have another one, but it'll be chore day, and then we're gonna do some homemade pizzas for dinner. So I'm looking really forward to that. Homemade
Nice.
pizzas, it's can't beat it. But what
good
about you,
stuff.
Kirkland? How's your Sundays?
My Sundays are typically really good, I'd say. Like I feel like I usually strategize all my stuff I have to do on Saturday, preferably in like the morning ish. Like I just want to get it done as soon as possible. Then you have like the rest of your weekend to just kind of relax. Sundays, like we usually do some grocery shopping for sure. I feel like I'd prefer to do them on Mondays for some reason. I just find the grocery stores like so much more tame on a Monday. I just feel like, I don't know, a lot of people are getting prepped for the weekend. That's probably why they go for Sunday. But yeah, no, I just really love Sundays. Sunday morning.
Fine day.
It's like
Fine day,
Sunday.
Fun day,
Exactly.
Sunday.
You just try and wear my pajamas for as long as possible. And even if I have stuff to do, it's like I like to just like have home stuff to do on Sunday versus like going out and about. And I don't know what it is. I like to leave the house as little as possible on a Sunday. It just
That's
maybe
fair.
I'm like mentally preparing for the week, and I'm just like I just want to have home time. But to your point, Travis, like 3-day system for the weekends, that is like the gold standard. I so wish I could have that every single week.
Only games, and some countries are trying the 4-day work week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is like
Some
I
places
get-
in Canada are doing that actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it's close. It's within grasp.
Yeah, it would be nice. My job's tough because I feel like it would have to, because you always need like that certain amount of people. So I think the tough thing
Yeah.
would be they'd have to hire another one. So I don't know if that could happen at any time in the future. Like maybe like okay, future, but I'd say near future. But yeah, even then, I think I'd want to try it at least for a little bit. I still don't know how I feel about working 10-hour days, especially with my Dylan. You might be the same with my job. Like I'm on the computer, and I just feel like when I'm done, I'm just like, oh, my mind is like I gotta stay away from it for a bit. I just feel so like I'm at home and it goes by fast, but you just feel so sucked in. And it's not in the way of like, oh, if you're doing video games, that or it's like that's a good sucked in. And then you can have breaks, you'll get some food. Of course, I got breaks at work. I'm not saying they don't give me lunches or anything. It's just like you're just 8 hours on this screen and you're just like phone call, email, and you're just like, oh, it goes by quick, but my mind just feels warped. So I don't know after 10 hours or if it's just like you're already doing it. So let's just go full forward.
I mean, definitely. If you have like a full 8-hour day or maybe even a bit longer, and then let's say we do 2 to 3 hours of podcasting in the evening, it's like, yeah, I was on the computer for a good like 10, 12 hours or more in this given day. So it can happen for sure. And that it feels like a bit of a throwaway day. Like, I don't know. Obviously, it's good stuff you're getting done and hopefully some nice podcasts and whatnot. But it's like, oh, that was a day. All right. That was a very specific day.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're here. I'm about to drop the link right now because we're going to talking a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about Barbenheimer. We're going to talk about some Marvel after Secret Invasion because the Discord's been fun there. And then in the back half, when we got some Saw freaks in here, we'll talk about that. We'll make Kirkland watch a trailer. No, I'm joking. But I do have.
I'll watch it. Why not?
There's only one point in the trailer that you'll have to look away. The rest is fine.
Okay.
In terms of
is it like a red band
torture
trailer?
porn
Like
stuff.
No, it's not even. I don't think. Oh, it must be. I guess right.
There's one shot. I guess they cut away pretty quick, but
Yeah.
yeah.
There's some finger usage. It's not going good and stuff
I think
like
the
that.
grossest, creepiest trailer I've seen is the Evil Dead Rise trailer.
Yeah.
That red band trailer with the scalp drop on the dock, and then you have the egg
right.
sequence. And just like the mom in general, it's just terrifying.
Just terrifying. Yeah.
Just terrifying. Yeah, check out our review for that. But yeah, so we'll talk about Barbenheimer. I'm about to drop the link right now. But we haven't told the story yet. Me and Kirkland will talk about this, what happened a couple weeks ago. And, thanks everyone. Check out the reviews. They did well and all that. But so what happened was I specifically asked to have the day off early. And I was like, okay, I'm prepared here. And the bus or the theater that I was going to was on the west side because it perfectly lined up to do Barbie and Oppenheimer back to back. Literally ran into each other. So it's like perfect. So I'm going to take the bus over there. And I haven't taken the bus to the west side ever. You got to go across bridge. And it's not that far, but bus wise, there's a lot of different connections. So I'm like, okay. And I look at all these times and my showing's at 3:40. And all these times like get there at 2:45, get there at 3. I'm like, that's like, I don't want to be just sitting around on the west side for like 40 minutes to an hour. So I'm like, okay, I saw this one that's 3:20. I'm like, that's perfect. That works for me. So I go, walk my ass to the bus stop. It is 40-degree weather. It is hot. As I said, it's like Iron Man desert when he's stuck there. So I walk there, I get on the bus and all this stuff. And, the good thing is it's 3:20. So it's like, okay, great. That's going to be a perfect time I get there. And then we go to some, I don't know. It's H2O. It's a swimming center. I'm not sure, Dylan. H2O was around, right? Yeah, H2O was. Yeah.
It's been around for a while. Yeah.
So they stop there. And as I'm there, everyone gets off, and it's one of those like, oh, what's happening here? And he's doing this like he's switching over buses or like drivers and everything like that. So I'm looking at my app, this bus app. I'm like, okay, this should be fine. 3:20 jumps to 3:57, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And the movie starts at 3:40. So I've gone on some bus that's in the middle of like a transition bus that's gonna sit there, and I'll be like, oh, when are we leaving? He's right now. 10 minutes go by. So it starts to go, and I'm like, even then I'm like 3:57, like, okay, I'll miss some previews, but like that's kind of really close. And there's one more stop. They gotta go downtown. I know that's not gonna be a quick stop. I have to transfer a bus. Like that's not gonna be quick. They gotta be on time. So literally it was like a movie moment where I was looking at the door of the bus. I jumped out right. I was closing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go take a cab. I'll take a cab. That'll be quicker. Really accept calls anymore. They need you to use the app. So here I am in the weather. I'm trying to find shade. I'm standing beside some tax office just getting looks because these windows open. I'm just like, it's the only shady spot in this like shopping area. So I'm downloading this app.
He's wearing his
killing-
Harley Quinn tank top, so he's got like his nipple probably hanging out.
Yeah, it pops out quite a bit now. I've lost some weight, so I feel like before the pec it'd be like, I don't know, it was just something different. That's a whole different story. But anyway, so
I'm trying to paint the scenery to
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know your sketchiness
Nips
for what you're
out.
wearing.
Yeah, that's an important part of the story. Yeah.
at this point it's 3. It's 3, and it's like, okay, no, I'd say it's 3:10, and it's like I boot up the app. It's like it's a 20 to 25 minute just wait, not even the drive, just a wait. So I'm like, okay, and I'm hitting it, and then it's been stuck on this wheel for 10 minutes. And this is where I messaged Kirkland and Dylan because we were talking about the reviews at night. And I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna be late. I show the screenshot like I've been waiting. Kirkland's like, oh, I'll just swing by and pick you up. I'm leaving right now. I'm like, oh, you sure? They're like, oh yeah, I'll be quick. So Kirkland's driving down. And it's like, you know, it's 3:30, it's 3:40, and I don't really hear from him. And then I just get a message like, oh, fuck. And then I'm like, well, that's not good. And I thought Kirkland might be joking. He was a little bit, but what was your point of view? Because when you drove across the bridge, what did you see? What was coming at you?
We'll do a Tarantino little switch to my perspective for this story, because so the movie was starting at 3:40, and I was super confident that it didn't even matter like if we were late for that, because I have it down to a science. The West Side Theater, they don't start the movie till 17 minutes after the showtime because they have all the previews. The Landmark does this like stupid like reel thing that they have before every single movie. It's like, thanks for coming to the movies with us, and it has like the exact same reel.
I'm so sick of Simu Lee and his fucking Google commercials and stuff too. I don't know if you guys get those. But
I've never seen one of those. That's funny.
I show up later though
Keep going.
because, like I said, I have it down to a science. I usually get there like 15 minutes after, a couple of minutes to spare, and like I'm never late for that reason. I know it to this point, so I was super confident. Also, around that time, there is traffic on the bridge going from Kelowna to West Side, but usually it's like 4:30 p.m. So I'm like, okay, we have an hour until the traffic builds up going to the West Side. But around that 3:30 slot, I totally forgot that there's actually a lot of traffic going into Kelowna, and of course that's where I'm going to get Travis. So yeah, it took me like 10 minutes to get over the bridge. By the time I was like getting over the bridge, I think it was like 3:38. So again, like it's close to the start time, but I have 17 minutes of buffer here. Like I'm not worried at all. But I knew we were fucked because the second I got over the bridge, right at that intersection, right before the bridge, there was a major accident where there was like multiple cars just squished, fire departments there, like an ambulance, and they're blocking off one lane, but it's only like a 2-lane essential. Well, it's 3 lanes, but really it's like 2 lanes now because of like the closure. And this is entering like rush hour time where everybody is going to majority of people are going to the West Side, and this is the only way that they can go through to get to it. And I'm just like, oh man, this is like we're so fucked. Like there's no way we're even gonna be able to get on the bridge. I go down Pendozi towards where Travis is, and just like bumper to bumper traffic all the way. And of course, I'm like going the opposite way, so I'm just getting like further and further away from my destination. And yeah, it was it wasn't a good sign. I I was like, well, I'll grab him anyways, hope for the best. But I had very little faith that we were gonna get anywhere from that point. But I don't know. I'll jump back to Travis for.
Yeah,
you saw me coming around.
My Alexa was going off. Yeah, but yeah, so that happened, and then we get in the car and we start. Kirkland pulls up, so like, okay, it's like 3:50 at this point. But it's like, okay, Kirkland's like, well, 3:57. So I'm like, we might miss a few minutes, and then we start to drive. We're in the line, and we're up by the hospital, and we're sitting there like 10, 15 minutes. We don't move a single muscle at all. We're just seeing the clock tick down. Kirkland forgot to mention he also had a friend that was joining, so this friend is now just at the theater sitting by themselves watching Barbie. I feel very bad. I owe the guy a popcorn or pop or something because I was like, oh man, because Kirkland didn't have to come get me, but it's like, okay, this could work out. And then so Kirkland, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go home and figure it out. And Kirkland's like, yeah. And then I left and I went to go start seeking out other theaters. And at Grand 10, like I did end up seeing Oppenheimer on the West Side, and we had to move reviews because I couldn't have seen Barbie before we had the review it on the weekend, me and Kirkland. But when I got there, like all the rest of the theaters were like the front row, and I'm not being the meme. I'm not seeing Oppenheimer in the front row, like the bombs going off. So I'm like, okay, well maybe I'll go back to the West Side. I'm like, Kirkland, where are you? And like Kirkland said at this point that he still hadn't moved for like he moved like an inch or something.
Because you got out, I maybe moved 1 car's length forward. Like I did not move at all, and I completely accept I just wasn't seeing the movie at this point, but like I just wanted to get home. I was so like just frustrated from everything that was going on. I put no blame on Travis, of course. I got to preface that because I made that decision
every day. He messages me. He's like,
yeah.
you made me
Remember
miss
that?
it. Yeah.
I don't know. I just accepted my fate. You know, I was trying to be the hero moment. But like by this point, I'm getting hungry and I'm just stuck here. I'm just like burning gas, sitting in the AC because, like Travis said, it was like basically 40 degrees. It was so hot.
And when I left
And
his
then-
car, I had a 10, 15-minute walk back to my house. So I was burnt that day. I got burnt. So
I called Shay and I'm just like explaining the whole situation, and she had a great advice to just like basically turn around, go to like a restaurant, get some food, because like you're not going anywhere anyways. All I'm doing is burning gas. Might as well like be in a comfy sitting, get a meal in me. The traffic will clear up eventually. Like I'll probably get home the exact same time than if I were to just sit in traffic anyways. So I just like turned around, went and got a meal. It was nice. And then yeah, my phone buzzes. Travis like, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm actually basically where I picked you up the first time." And then he's like, "I'm coming to you." And I just thought it was the funniest thing ever, because it's like, why did I not make this decision when Travis was in my car? We could have just gone here together.
Got food
So
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I run into the Canadian Brew House. I'm just dripping sweat. The bartender's like, "You want some food?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." And then finally, I was like, "Okay, Kirkland lives on the west side, so I'm just gonna go with him so I can go see Oppenheimer." As I talked about in the review, I ended up seeing Barbie with like a group of 16-year-olds in this like line, but it all worked out fine. But then the last point was we're driving, and even then we were almost gonna just stick around for a little bit. We were almost late because the traffic was bad. But then to top it all off, as Kirkland was driving, he was in the turning lane. He went to go turn, and there was this guy that completely blew the red light, and so like Kirkland can't turn because it's safe, but the car behind us is just like has the horn on max for Kirkland. Like this car behind Kirkland wanted him to turn and die into this vehicle. I'm hoping it was for the other guy, but it was just like, it was the like, "Move, why aren't you moving?" It's like
I
he
hate when
can't.
people
Like,
do that, man.
yeah, it's like literally if Kirkland turns, and I'm on the side he turned too. Yeah,
Travis
it's over
would've
for
been
me.
over.
So yeah, it was just, but that's why I ended up getting delayed. So it was one thing after another of car accidents, cab apps not working, and the heat. And yeah, when I got back, I put on sunscreen. That's why I walked back to Kirkland. And of course, when I got in the car, we drove to West Side, completely clouded over. So that was the story of Barbenheimer.
I love it.
And
It's
a
like,
long
so
day.
almost died or got hit by a car too, and it was close. The guy like he ran it hard. He had somewhere to go. So, but alas, that's what happened. So I got to bring. Usually it's 1 by 1, but I got a 3-person here. I'm
Oh
bringing
my
in
God.
Clay,
CAC.
bringing in
Clay!
April, bringing in
April!
Carl. Look at that.
Carl,
We're
look
all
at that.
filled out.
Heyo.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
All good, all good.
It's good to see you
Really?
guys. Clay,
Quite
you
well.
made it after 9, and then
We're
Carl,
good.
it's early morning for you. So,
Well, it's 6 p.m., but
well,
yeah.
sorry, right?
6
Sorry,
p.m.
I misread
Early.
that.
Good morning
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. And April, it's like regular time. You're Eastern time, right?
Yeah, no, I'm Central. It's noon.
Central.
Nice. You forget about
That's a
Central
rare.
sometimes.
That's
I
a
forget
rare
about
time,
Central,
time
yeah.
slot, yeah.
I think I only know her and Travis Hines, who hosts DC Alliance, because he's somewhere in Canada that's on Central as well. And it's a strange. Do you ever feel strange, April? Because I feel like, no. The reason I ask this is
Why is
'cause
it noon right now?
No, not because that. I just feel like every sporting event, movie, TV show, it's always that gives you the 2 times, Pacific and Eastern. You rarely see them advertise Central. Like I feel like they exclude you guys all the time.
Our advertisements definitely have Central on them.
That's fair. Yeah. I guess I'm in the wrong market. That would really mess you up if they're just advertising nothing but Pacific and Eastern. So, oh man.
Clay, did you get a haircut, or did you have a
I
haircut?
did. Yeah, I chopped it all off when I moved back to Michigan. That was my California ponytail. And
Gotta leave that behind. Yeah.
Looking
Yeah, I
sharp,
did.
sir.
Leave that on the California soil.
Yeah, he buried
I
it
was
somewhere.
I was interviewing for some office jobs, and it had to go.
Oh
That's
yeah, that happens. You gotta like
Yeah.
spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
because with my government job, I think they just thought it was my natural hair color, but I went in with the bleach blonde hair, and I was like, this is the worst time ever. But I don't think they knew. And then later on, one day I showed up with like a different shade, and I got a lot of looks of like, oh, this is, and because like I worked in a warehouse where it's a bit better at the time, but it's still very like it's very the middle of Barbie with horses, patriarchy. It's those guys where it's like, oh, you dye your hair, like you work in a warehouse. What's that? They never said that to me, but I could see it in their eyes. I could just see it. Because one time I had to show up. I showed up late because I forgot I worked one day, and I had to show up like mid dye, so it wasn't completely. So I had like a shade of gold hair instead of bleach blonde. Then the next day I showed up with bleach blonde, and people were like wondering what the hell's going on. And Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did some blonde highlights at one point when I had the long hair. My ex was a hairstylist, and she's like, "Let me do the
Oh,
highlights and
nice.
whatnot." And that was not the Michigan look to come. Like,
Yeah.
I was getting some looks from people, and the ponytail was not quite as long as April's, but close for a while. So
Yeah.
it was time to go.
In LA, you can do anything. You could have any. You
Right.
can really have any look in LA and be. No, you're not going to stand out. You're not going to
Right,
look
right,
like a
right.
sore thumb and everything. So, yeah, Carl, what you been up to? How's life been?
Yeah, good. Busy.
Are you in the same room that you usually podcast in, but just a
Or is
different
it like
angle?
mirrored?
Yeah. Oh, it's mirrored. Is that it?
It seems
Is it?
different.
Is it? No, it's the
I
same
don't know.
room.
Is it?
Usually, you're.
Okay.
It does look
usually-
opposite, but
Yeah.
maybe
yeah.
I thought the
Tripping
table's
out.
normally on the other side.
He moved it all around.
Maybe it's a StreamYard thing.
Yeah. See, because I've been streaming, I like to have this hand on this side so it looks right. So it is mirrored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
right.
Yeah.
I like having this hand on this side too.
Yeah. I like my left to show being on the left.
That was my right. So it is mirrored then.
You can't really mirror yours, Kirkland, because you got that distinct Venom
Yeah.
poster. It's
The
gonna
writing
mess
would be
up.
off. Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly.
Carl's is good with the table. Even Dylan's is good. April and Clay's. Mine, I just have like
Pretty
these.
neutral.
This is just like a Rorschach. Like you couldn't really tell. But Kirkland, like if you mirror Venom, he's gonna be looking a little. Well, I guess if you have, as long as you hide the word Venom, you're fine. You know. Oh, he's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't like that at all.
You didn't do anything.
See,
Oh, okay. It's only mirrored for me then.
Okay.
That's weird. I don't like it at all. So
see,
bad you
I
can't
can
see it.
actually move mine all around the
Whoa,
place.
whoa,
like, whoa. Motion sickness.
He's on
That.
the move.
Anyway, sorry, Carl. How you been?
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, all good. Really busy. I feel like I miss you guys. Because I don't know what you're doing anymore.
I don't miss you,
don't get to
Carl.
listen.
It's been
I
the
know
best
that, but-
bliss and the nice year. I rarely hear from you. No, I'm joking.
It's
so mean.
It's shit. It's
He
shit.
no, he every time and after he'd like shoot at me like 10 to 5 times every time, and I make one joke and I'm like, oh man, Travis
Go
going
easy
hard
on
on
him.
Carl.
Come on.
Yeah, yeah,
It's 6
he's
p.m.
been-
I know.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's
always
6 p.m. It's
picking on
late
me.
for him. Yeah, that's why he hasn't been around.
I stayed up late for this one.
That's okay. What you been up to? You've been seeing movies? You've been too busy for that? I know
Yeah.
it's summer season, so you work a lot then.
I went to see Schittenheimer yesterday.
Oh, what? Okay.
Here it starts already.
This is you can talk about it now. Go ahead. Mike.
Are we? No, we can hold off. I'll hold off.
Sure, we'll ask everybody at Schittenheimer. My goodness. Does that ruin your summer?
No, it didn't ruin my summer. I just wasted 3 hours pretty much.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
We'll get into it later.
Yeah, April, how have you been?
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Up to anything in particular?
Nope, not really.
Yeah.
I tried to stay inside because it's really hot here.
Oh, yeah. Well, what is it there right now?
It's like 110, which I don't know what that converts to in not American. So
It sounds like a
Yeah.
lot.
43 degrees Celsius.
43
That's-
degrees?
That's higher than
bizarre.
here.
Yeah.
That's what I was walking in the the Barbenheimer thing. I was walking outside in that weather. I spent an hour outside that weather walking back and forth to my house and to Kirkland's car. So it was not good. So that's
insane.
awful. Yeah, that's
I hope
that,
it's all good sunburn.
but it
I
happens.
just
So you're
got,
going,
I just got sunburnt over the last couple hours. I'm feeling it right now.
Ooh.
It's 12 degrees here. This has been the worst July in the history that I've been alive. It's done nothing but rain the whole month.
Oh, jeez.
Even
love
for
rain,
Ireland, that's bad.
even for Ireland, that's bad. But no, that's fair. I feel like there's it's like the cold. There's certain cold and heat where, you know, because sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, oh, should I be outside? Summer doing stuff. But when it's that level, no, it's just that's that gross. You gotta be inhaling water all the time, which I try to do anyways. But I just mean like it's like life or death. It's not like, oh, if I miss a cup, I'll be fine. If you miss a cup, you're gonna faint in an hour. You know, from finding no water. So
It's over for you. You'll just
it's
dissolve
over.
away.
Yeah. So, what were you? What were you doing, Clay, in the morning? You got sunburned.
My weekend job. I work for during the week I'm in an office, and then on the weekend I sometimes cut grass for a guy, and then sometimes I go and do door-to-door stuff for him to make some extra money, like handing out flyers and whatnot. So today I was handing out flyers, and That was not ideal. It was totally hot for
Don't
that.
smile too. What are the flyers for? What's that's on the flyer?
Yeah, no, like I would think his
One-man
advertising
show.
is just cutting some people's lawns, and then
Okay.
people across the street notice him. But now going around handing out these flyers, I guess he's trying to get more. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take $20 an hour to do that on the weekends in the morning when I'm not doing much else. So
Okay, so he runs like a business, right? And then
yes, yeah, and this
Okay.
is strictly to like pay for my bar tabs on the weekend.
Okay.
Like a little extra side cash.
I misunderstood. I thought it was just one person's yard you're doing, and he was just like on his own will being like, "Hey, this guy Clay, he'll do your yard," like offering your services. Unbeknownst to you.
Yeah.
I'm
Anytime,
dumb. I'm
just
not
call
that
him.
dumb.
6 a.m. He'll be right at your yard mowing the lawn.
No,
Make sure you send me the PayPal money. Make sure you
Right.
send it to me.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, man! All in the game just coming in with a very depressing stat this morning. 110 people died in northern Italy were killed by hailstorms the size of tennis balls last week. Oh my
holy
god!
shit.
Like, I don't think
Crazy.
this is the worst way, because we've talked about this many times that I would not want it buried alive. As I've said, my enemies, if they're listening, if I get buried alive, that's the worst way. But also, I would not think out of all the ways I'm going to go, it would be in a hailstorm rain of death. You know, like that. That's never crossed my mind that one day, just like big chunks of ice could kill me. You know?
That is like peak terrifying though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What do
up
you
there.
do?
Go
You just
inside, I
do?
guess.
Go
You
into
have to get inside.
shelter. Yeah.
But where were these 110 people all in the game? I'll need a link or something. I need to know this more. But anyways, we won't talk about death and stuff like that. But Carl,
Morbid.
yeah,
It depresses all.
yeah. You talk about Oppenheimer because apparently that depressed you. So yeah, let's start there because I want to talk about Oppenheimer, Barbie. Also, just talk about the box office and stuff because it's been a crazy. Both of them had another good second weekend, both with these historic draws. But Carl, it doesn't sound like you're going back to Oppenheimer. You're not part of that second weekend.
No, I only watched it last night.
Okay.
Do you know what? It's my fault because I'm so out of the game. I'm not in the game, like all in the game. But
Nice.
I thought so. Because I didn't watch the trailer and I don't know what I was. I was expecting some sci-fi, and it's only
What?
when the film started that I realized, oh, this is about the atomic bomb. What? And I did not need to spend 3 hours watching a documentary.
Wow.
Oh, it's definitely not a
Which is what it
documentary.
was.
No, it's not a
Was-
documentary.
It's
no.
a fancy. It was a
Historical
really
telling.
fancy documentary. But like, did I need to see that film in the cinema? No, there was nothing. The Flash was better than that, and that says a lot.
I can't go that far. I can't. I like the
Yeah.
Flash, but I
No,
can't.
so
I can't get you there.
There's for the storytelling, like what really happened in Oppenheimer. It just
What do you mean? What really happened? It was a personal
Just like-
journey, multiple
No.
character interactions, creating the bomb,
The
self
most
doubt.
important thing in the history of the world is Matt Damon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, not really. I'd rather watch some sci-fi, please.
So so even though you know the movie was called Oppenheimer, you had no idea to the
Yeah,
movie
I just-
started that it was about actual.
Yeah,
Robert
I just didn't
Oppenheimer.
put two and two. I didn't put two and two together. I don't know why. So
I don't know,
that's
it's been
on
a
me. That's
wild
my fault.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's nothing. There wasn't a bad thing about the film. It's well made. You know, the acting's good. There's nothing bad. But I didn't need to sit there for 3 hours to watch it. I could watch that at home.
This is a very confusing review.
Yeah,
There's not a bad thing in it, but it's Schittenheimer still.
like on your letterbox. Yeah, it would be titled. The title would be Schittenheimer, but then be like,
Watch it
"There's
at
not a
home.
bad thing about this." movie.
And he gives it a 5 out of 5.
It's a Nolan film, but I didn't see too many big visuals in it. You know, in terms of like the odd time when he was looking at the stars, it was kind of okay. But what was special about it that you need to see on a big screen?
I think he goes for like obviously
Trinity
he films
explosion.
in you get the explosion. He films in film, so that's
Yeah.
a big thing and everything. But I'd say like the Trinity test and the back half and everything. Are you one of those critics, Carl? You need to see the bombs drop because I've heard that a lot of like, oh, they didn't show the bombs. You needed to have that happen.
No, I don't
That was
think.
a long thing.
No,
That was a long thing.
no. Yeah, no, I think it's okay. I would have made the film even longer and a lot more work. No, because to do that justice, you're gonna have to show. Or they want to see the people getting the skin ripped off them because that would have been cool, actually.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
very morbid. I feel like to an extent though, like I'm somewhat with Carl in that. Like I even mentioned that in the review where like I had such high expectations for it, and I knew what it was. I actually seen the trailer, and that's why I kind of prepped. But still, something in me was like expecting more of like that Nolan sci-fi thing, and I didn't get that. I'm like, I don't know why I thought I would get that, but I didn't get that, and for some reason, it just kind of brought my enjoyment down slightly. But to Carl's point, there's not a thing wrong with it. It's a great movie. It's just if I'm ordering my Nolan enjoyment films, I don't have it as high as something else like. Prestige,
Yeah.
Interstellar, stuff like that.
I was just laughing because I feel like All in the Game, that's a big mix up there. Injured, not killed.
Oh, God.
Those two stories are very different.
This
That
is
was
the
a
headline.
clickbait headline.
This is the headline.
Sure.
And then when you actually read the article, this is what it says. With the little asterisks, too.
It
in
just
there.
killed their spirit, not them actually. Because I'm like 150 people killed, but I felt like that sounds like medieval stuff, or that sounds like something we could combat against and stuff. Because we're like, that's why I want to see the link, because that sounded like they're in a place where there's no buildings. So it's just like in the middle of the beach, everyone's just swimming, and then a hailstorm comes. Like there's nowhere to go. Like I don't know. I feel like in that situation, I'd go underwater, right? Because you could still get hit, but the impact would be lessened, right? Because it would hit the water and be a little slow.
So you just drown?
If you get hit, you just don't got to get hit. But that you made a good point. But,
But
True. If
can't
you get
stay
knocked
underwater
out,
forever.
Yeah, if you get knocked unconscious, then you're done for. I'd
well,
get
you
out of the
pop
water.
up, and I'm not going to say you just.
I would bury
get
myself
crunched
in the
in the face.
sand in that
Oh
situation.
man.
Like an ostrich.
Yeah.
Just curl up. Yeah, put your head underneath and just take it on the back.
Take it off the back. You got a strong back. What if you
Just
bury
swat
yours-
everyone out of the air.
What if you bury yourself underneath that dirt dome, but then the rock, whatever the hailstorm hits, and you didn't die, but it's like it's on top of you, no one can hear you because sand's over you and a rock's over you, so you die by suffocation.
Well, it's it's hail or it's ice. It would melt.
It's not
and
gonna
then I
last
could just
forever.
True.
leave,
Yeah,
I
it melt.
guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but is it gonna melt? But your face is gonna be frozen by the time it melts because you're. Or wait, are you burying yourself face up or face down?
Let's see. I don't know. I gotta think about the logistics of that.
He suffocated himself in the sand.
It's just those memes.
I
Like
mean,
I was
ideally,
gonna-
I go find a building. Like the sand is like the last resort.
Yeah,
I'm saying it's
in the
better than
desert.
being in the water. That's about it.
That's fair. It's just those memes I see all the time on Facebook or Twitter where someone posts like it's obviously some bad CGI app and it's like a good like a big monster like Godzilla or it's just like a massive volcano that explodes in the middle of the city. It's just like what would you do if? And it's like most of the time it's just die. Like there's not like it like there's not
Those posts,
really,
yeah, where it's like a
Yeah.
tsunaami, like the
Yeah.
size, like
And
bigger
there's
than
a
like
shark
a
in it.
skyscraper. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like you're on the beach. It's like, what would you do? It's like probably die.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I would run. I'm not just gonna give up, but I'd run just in case. I would like try and prepare myself for the hit. But most of those tsunamis, when they hit you, that's what happens. They're so powerful. So, yeah.
Thankful I don't live in those areas.
No, or hailstorms. But April, did you think Oppenheimer was Schottenheimer?
No, I liked it a lot, but I also knew what I was walking into. I guess.
Yeah, that helps.
It's half the battle.
Yeah. What if it would have been April, one of those other faith-based like message films that you keep ending up watching? That would have been great. You would go to Oppenheimer. It's really just like a huge Nolan right-wing film. And he's really, which some people actually argue, but I feel like it's like that's like you can't do that story without all the politics and everything like that. Like
Yeah.
that's the point and everything. But
I mean, I would probably left. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
sat through 3 hours of.
3 hours of propaganda to join the right and everything.
Yeah, I feel like
that.
any movie that's 3 hours long, I want to see a trailer. I want to know what I'm signing up for in the theater. So
Yeah, that was bold, Carl. You just saw it just because Nolan, right?
Do you know what it was? It was because I seen you said after 9 is tomorrow, and I panicked. It's like I haven't seen anything, so I need to go.
You don't have to see it.
But you didn't. But you chose not to
yes,
see
I do.
Barbie.
It's homework.
yeah,
you
did
chose-
see
I
Barbie?
tried to. I
only
tried
chose
to see
one.
Barbie, but it was fully booked.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Fully booked. I could not get
happen.
into a single screen, and I was like, shit.
That's happening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Me and Taylor, we went to the drive-in last night to see it, and it's one of those things that drive-in. It always opens an hour and a half because the movie's at 8:45, and the gates open at 7:15, so it gives you enough time to park. And usually, it's like I've talked about this before. Travis, I like to be there early, get settled, everything like that. But usually, there's a group of people that come as well. This was 7:30, and almost every car was there. It was that point where it was 7:40, and if you were a car pulling up, it was like they're just doing multiple, where it's like you'll definitely have a spot, but it's gonna be out behind some bush and there's some guy sleeping there. Like it's like not the best area. So it was packed. Same thing as the theater when I saw it. It was pink everywhere. It was very fun. I haven't posted yet, but Emily got these like custom made shirts. Some person has like a, what is it? Is that croquet or what? Someone know the term I'm thinking of? Croquet or crochet. Thank you, Dylan. Yeah, we got some good logos. I have no idea. People are like, "Oh, you got crochet." I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
I still can't picture what the shirt looks like, but
I'll have to find out. I'll find it in a bit. But yeah, it's just mine said Ken. It's pink and it's Ken. It's like it's in the font, but it's like all sparkly, and they had Barbie and stuff like that. But yeah, they did everything there, and that's been the thing. Those were all sold out. So yeah, it's been massive. So, but Clay, you're the rain on the Barbie parade,
I am. I'm gonna try it again. I feel like part of my reigning was because I had watched Oppenheimer like right before and I had to switch theaters, so I drove in the middle. And they were literally back to back. Like one ended at 2:30 and the next one started at 3:15. So I was a little whooped, and through the first 30 minutes, I was not feeling it. And then I went up a bit in the middle and then came back down toward the end. I couldn't get behind the like whole corporate part of it, and that whole storyline with the Will Ferrell boardroom and like they're all the bad guys, but then they don't really do anything. Like they didn't actually make a difference, and it felt like stuff was cut with that whole storyline. And I couldn't get behind a lot of the messages of the movie because I love Greta Gerwig's other movies, and they don't have to do with that, like with a corporate entity behind it. And this one, I couldn't reconcile her ideas with this corporation that's reaping all the benefits of her ideas. Like Mattel is making so much money off this movie. Like I wish this was just a Greta Gerwig solo project, devoid of all Barbie connection. Because I love Lady Bird. I think that's like a 9 or 10 out of 10. And then a couple of her other ones like Frances Ha, I love, and I think Little Women's pretty good. So I hope she goes back to stuff like that. But it looks like she's doing Narnia next. So I guess I'm not going to get my wish. But Narnia could be good because that's not as corporate of an idea as Barbie is. So.
Well, I'll say this because I have not talked about this yet, but I saw Barbie on Tuesday. And
whoa! He didn't even say anything about it. We
podcast with him too. But Clay, I would probably give it the same rating as you. I think I'd be in that 2 out of 5 camp.
Did you laugh though, Dylan? Because I did laugh a good amount.
I didn't. I think I dislike it for different reasons than you because like all the points you make on the corporate side of it. I think that's all very fair, but I for me, I just didn't find it funny. And so if I'm there watching a comedy and I'm not laughing, then it's like I can't really get into the movie. So that was the biggest thing. I had maybe like two laughs in the whole thing, which is not surprising to me because anytime these trailers were popping up, like and they're doing the beach off joke, I'm like, this is not funny at all. And so I wasn't expecting to laugh that much, but I went because my partner wanted to see it, and I got to see it, just to have an opinion. Yeah, did not have a good time with it.
I thought Gosling was really funny, but I felt like they didn't give Margot Robbie enough jokes. I felt like the drama of it didn't really work that much for me. That was another part of my problem. But like, I wish Margot Robbie had been allowed to be more funny because we know from like Suicide Squad and maybe people disagree. Maybe other people do think she was really funny in this, but I thought she had to carry the dramatic stuff. And we know she's a funny actress and she can do that really well. So I wish she had gotten a little bit more of that, but curious to hear what you guys think about that.
I think she's definitely supposed to be the straight man / woman, and I think because I wonder if they worried if they make her too funny, you lose her as the heart of the movie with all like you can, but I feel like it's definitely because she's supposed to be the one that's maturing and aging out of the Barbie and wanting to turn. So I guess that's the way. Because I saw it second, and that stuff hit better for me too. The more emotional stuff. I agree with the boardroom stuff. It's all kind of fine. I laughed at most of it. I guess I'm always the approach where I was fine of it less because I didn't need more of it. I thought they got the point across. I just wanted more of Gosling and Robbie. So I think that's the only reason why is they just want her to be the heart of the film and almost be less Barbie-esh and everything. And I think that's what they're trying to do with that. So but before we continue, I'll bring in the man that's
Hey.
Hi. Boobs. I never watched it, but my daughter and my kid's mom went to watch it, and they both hated it, and they were looking forward to it. My daughter's a big Barbie fan, and They said they liked the start, and I guess there's a part when they go to the real world, and then after that they said it was just the rest of the film was awful. They hated
Not
it.
comic accurate for them.
Yeah. That's not what Barbie would do.
Yeah,
So,
I was
but
very.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know if it's for you, Carl. I don't know if it's. I think you could skip it.
I think I'll skip that. Yeah.
There's more people I talk to now that. Actually, I think it's just now Dylan and now Clay, but everyone in my real world has enjoyed it in my Barbie real world, So that's been good, and I feel people are going to be seeing it lots. I was surprised by Taylor's Letterboxd score. He gave it a 4 out of 5, and I remember I walked out. It's dead night, dark, and I walk over. I'm like, "Oh, what do you think about it?" He said it's very depressing. So I was expecting a failing grade. But then he said 4 out of 5. So I think he was the reverse of Oppenheimer, or the kind of like that, where I don't think he's expecting it to be near the end so kind of about emotions and about I don't know the best way to put it, but I was very surprised by that. But I'm glad you saw it, Dylan, because I don't know where it will be, but I know we'll probably talk about it come Golden Geeks time. And Gosling I love just because I feel like it's very just Ben Stiller Zoolander. Like that's where it worked for me, where it's just such a dumb movie and the world works, but I like all the heart. But where were you as? Oh, go ahead, Dylan. Sorry, before.
Well, yeah, I'm really curious Golden Geeks time, because obviously I guess we got to see how Taylor feels about it, because obviously you two both love it. But yeah, I mean, like, I love Margot Robbie. She's great, but like I can't really point to any scene or moment that I think is a particularly stellar like acting performance. Like I feel like obviously she is so beautiful that you need someone like that in that role to get the point across. And she fits the part in that way, but I don't feel like acting wise there was really anything particularly interesting about what she had to do in the movie.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, I the two scenes I have is the one at the end with Ruth and the one at the end where they have Helen Mirren make the joke of like, oh, if, this is the wrong actress to pick for Margot Robbie. But I think she's actually great in that scene, because me and Kirk can talk about the review where I feel like just anybody can feel bad about themselves, so it doesn't matter that Margot Robbie is like this, oh yeah, like this, what Hollywood deems like this perfect blonde and stuff like that. She portrays that. But yeah, well, I'm not sure. I don't know if Taylor will be where he'll be Golden Geeks time. Like I have it pretty much in every category, like visuals, soundtrack's amazing. The fact that they got 22 songs in there, all original, all like just well produced. Ryan Gosling's Push is amazing. Like I think
Push, yeah.
Push is so good. I forgot how much they kind of edited out of the movie of Push, but other than. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like Taylor's going to be the outlier of a lot of that when it comes down to that, because I have it in.
He'll be the
film.
tiebreaker for sure.
Yeah. But I guess it's also depends though what happens the rest of the year, because if Dune gets put, like if a lot of that fall stuff loses, it becomes like a little less of a year, because already we lost. Sorry, Dylan, lost Ghostbusters for the draft. That's gone. I lost Craven for the draft. So, and Craven was for sure a Best Picture Golden Geek nominee.
Oh yeah.
I was pretty banking on that, but. S-Bubs, how you doing?
Good.
Mm-hmm. Where are you on all this? We know where you kind of are, but for people who listen that might not follow, well, how do we follow you? Letterboxd or Twitter? You had this big tweet that blowing up, so you're happy about that?
With Oppenheimer, I think I was more surprised of how much I liked it, because going in, I wasn't like super hyped for it. Like it was never on my most anticipated list. Like, I was always excited to see it, but it never, I don't know, it just never reached that hype until, like, this week when, like, all the reviews were coming out and everyone was saying it was, like, amazing. So I guess going in, I didn't have, like, lower expectations, but I wasn't expecting it to be, like, I was expecting it to be good, but not, like right now it's, like, my number 2 of the year.
Right, yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
And
It's the same with me.
Because where did you had Tenet pretty high, right? Did you?
For Nolan ranking, I think I have that at 3. Like below, I have. Oh no, it would be 4, I guess. Because first I have Dark Knight first, Oppenheimer second, Inception third, and Tenet fourth.
How was that week? Like the last week and 2? You just watching every single Christopher Nolan film for the first time?
It was good because honestly, a lot of them I didn't like. So like for Prestige, I thought going in, I thought I had been like spoiled on it, but then what I thought was like a spoiler wasn't. I mean, it sort of was, but it was a lot more than that. So I was still surprised by the movie.
Nice.
So it was good.
You got to get on the Prestige.
I do. Yeah, I'll watch.
That's your next Tuesday.
I'll watch it in August.
Yeah.
I'll make that promise. I'm down.
You're not gonna watch Twisted Metal?
No, I'll leave that to Taylor. He can do that.
But I really love Tenet. Like I'd heard like there's like very mixed review. I think on Letterboxd, I think he even has like I think
It's
it's
like a
below a
3.3
3. It's
or
like a
something.
2.8 or something
Is
like
it?
that.
Oh
it's
my
like it's like
God.
way lower than you would think it is. I know on Rotten Tomatoes too, it has like a 60 something like audience score or something like that.
Crazy.
But I thought it was really good. Like I loved like the whole time travel thing. Just like the second half was just the first half of the movie, but like going in reverse. It's just like amazing. And I really liked John David Washington and Robert Pattinson. I thought they were really good in it.
Yeah, I like Pattinson a lot in that movie. I think he's quite good. I'm a fan of that fellow. You know, he's always putting out good
You are.
performances.
Yeah. You've
I'm
been
excited.
good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope we get that movie next year. The one he's working with Bong Joon-ho, that clone movie, well, rumored to be a clone movie, but I think there's some fun potential for Pattinson's having to play against him, and I think
I don't know if it filmed. Like I guess
they
I
filmed
never heard of
something,
it
right? Because that
filming.
teaser, remember they dropped that teaser?
Yeah.
Pattinson's in that tube or whatever, just staring at you.
I always felt like that could be some kind of like I don't know, like they do like the test footage or something like that. You just be like, get Pattinson into that MRI machine, take a video of it.
This is what is that movie called? Oh, I can't remember. It has some weird title, but that's just like Sonic right now. They're filming Sonic, but they're just filming Sonics with stand-ins and stuff. So that's how they're gonna
really?
get. Yeah. That's because I saw. I'm like, how are they allowed to do this? But it was already Sonic 3. I guess was already written. It has a director, and you don't need because voice actors are a different guild, I think, or
Just
animation or
do
something like
every
that.
shot of like when there's animated characters and just like humans from behind. They just
Yeah,
film all that
100%. Yeah, it'll just be their perspective. They'll probably like CGI a shoulder in later, and then
Yeah.
they're just using like I'm sure it's not cardboard, but whatever they use for Sonic and Knuckles and
In Sonic 2, they
Shadow.
had like little, there were set photos. It was like little like statues, like they were
Okay,
like
there you
height
go.
accurate, and they just like put them next to the actors.
What a day that is. You're on set, there's no actors, you're just filming this statue doing nothing, and some guy with a voice being like, hey, you want to go run and do like of course
You're
you're
like,
making
I
a
made
movie.
it. I made it in Hollywood.
Yeah, like of course you're making a movie and you get paid, but like that must be like the worst day. Just you are literally just okay, go put the statue over there. Okay, put the statue over there. Like you're just doing pickup shots all day with this statue, and you have some guy, not the voice actor, not Ben Schwartz because he's on strike, some guy reading the lines of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. He's just having a conversation with himself all day long. Well, maybe they probably have other set people doing it, but you just have 4 people and. I want that footage. Just say I want more footage of like Ian McKellen from Hobbit when he would like lose his mind about the tennis balls and he quit acting for a second. But April, you didn't talk about Barbie because we before we move on that. Well, I guess talk about the movies that have been at the box office wise. But what do you think about Barbie?
I really loved Barbie.
Mhm.
I don't think you said, Clay, you said that the boardroom was supposed to be the villains, but I don't think they were supposed to be the villains. I think the villain in the movie is patriarchy, and they're benefiting from that system, and that's why they're that's why they're
I
there's
took
only
the-
men in there.
I took the boardroom and the patriarchy to be the same thing because they were all guys who were profiting off Barbie. But I get what you're saying too about other separate. I guess it depends kind of how you read. I don't know. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because
Yeah,
like one
it's-
weird
They're
moment
certainly not the
is-
heroes of the movie.
No.
Right.
One weird moment is when those Mojo Dojo Casa houses sell. Will Ferrell's like really opposed to it. He's like, no, we got to get Barbie back. And you'd think that they might do the
Interesting.
reverse of like, oh well, the guys' toys selling, like let's do that. So to April's point, it's almost like Will Ferrell's like, no, like like they're not enforcing it's a weird dynamic where they're not enforcing the Barbie thing, but by want, but almost by need or.
I kind of wish there was a little bit of that because I thought that like cutaway was like really funny where they're just like it just cuts away. It's like yeah, these houses are selling great. So like I wanted more of that like the real world being affected by like whatever happens in like the Barbie land. I thought that was a really funny joke.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting. So I was gonna say, and I'll start with you, Clay. Why do you think these films have done? Because both of them again this weekend. We were talking about this in Geekverse about we've had Summer of Bombs. You got Flash not doing well, Indy not doing well. Got Mission Impossible that's doing like well enough, but pretty below expectations. It's like dropped a lot and had a lot of screens. Do you have any theories on why why did Barbenheimer become this thing? Other than it obviously started as a meme, but I'm not sure. Like even both these films, like the first weekend, sure, but you look at Oppenheimer, 400 million this weekend. That's like past like a lot of other box office films that were supposed to be much bigger.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't totally know, and I find it so strange that Top Gun was the one that succeeded last year, and then Mission Impossible isn't doing so hot this year. And I mean, part of that is the Barbie Oppenheimer thing. I don't know if I have a really good reason other than that they're so polar opposite that it's like one thing is the most destructive thing of all time, and the other thing is like
Barbie
for a
the
lot of, I mean,
Friendly.
I like the movie enough, and I also didn't like the movie with Barbie, but the other things like for some people one of the most fun things ever. It's like got the most depressing movie and the most fun movie both in one weekend, so it kind of captures everybody. I guess that would be my theory, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't have some kind of brainiac answer for you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like this is sort of related to being like, oh, it was just the meme, but I think like because of that, a lot of people who saw Barbie who would like never see Oppenheimer, like saw Oppenheimer just because they wanted to do like the Barbenheimer thing, and same with people who would like go see Oppenheimer and would like never see Barbie, like they saw Barbie just because of like the meme. I think that is a lot part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just very curious to see how studios follow this up and if they try and replicate this, because
Oh, God.
no doubt people are going to try, and I can't wait to see what the weird amalgamations are of movies.
Saw
that,
Patrol in a month.
Yeah, there you go.
Saw
Like
the
that.
creator.
Creators that weekend too.
What is?
The creator.
New Gareth Edwards movie.
Oh no! Is
That
it?
movie's gonna eat
Yeah.
shit because it's
Oh, I
gone.
didn't know that. That
It's a bummer.
sucks.
I know.
Yeah.
I
Like, I
saw
was
like a
thinking
new
someone turn
trailer
it
for
into
it
a
and it looks
three-movie
really
thing.
good.
Yeah.
Creator
But-
looks sweet. Yeah.
But the problem
I'm
with the
def-
creator, they'll just take they'll just like the Saw Patrol and like, oh,
Yeah.
the creator just
Don't
misses
forget
out.
about me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, you can only manufacture something like that to a point, and it has to just catch on, like
Yeah.
in the way a viral video does. But yeah, like the fact that it became more than two movies and it became an event, like for me, it stuck out when I was talking to my mom, and she's like, "Are you doing Barbenheimer this weekend?" She didn't say, "Are you
Really?
seeing
Whoa.
Barbie and Oppenheimer?" She didn't say, "Are you seeing Barbenheimer?" It's, "Are you doing Barbenheimer?" Right? It changed from movie to
That's
event,
crazy.
and like for something to hit that tier, it's going to be really hard to replicate. I mean, that somewhat happened in gaming a few years ago when like Animal Crossing Doom, the new games came out on the same day, and it was like this weird thing. But then instead of like looking at it as competition, it became there was so much fan art of like these two franchises who are polar opposites living next to each other, and because of that, instead of like one cannibalizing the other, it raised all high tide raises all boats, that sort of thing. So yeah, I can't wait to see what movies try this in the future, because no doubt the studios and all those fucking guys in the boardroom are just like frothing at the mouth now, thinking of like, oh, rather than putting our movie in a dead zone where there's no other movie, let's instead stick it on next to this other big movie and hope that we can like ride the wave. And no, that's not going to work for most of them, but maybe it'll happen again in the future. I mean, this seems like kind of high end of what you could do if Barbie's hitting $1 billion. That's like
Yeah,
pretty
it's gonna,
unheard of
yeah.
for movies. That's very rare, but yeah, I'm just very curious to see how this is like followed up in the future.
I saw that on Letterboxd. They always put like whenever a movie hits like 1 million people like logged it, and before the record was Across the Spider-Verse in 57 days, and now it's Barbie in like 11 days.
Yeah. It's when I was in Vermont with my family, and yeah, we did do the driving boat. Then we got out lunch and did a couple other family things, and so I'm seeing other family members that on Emily's side that I usually don't, and everybody was either they're gonna probably see Barbie again, or like Carl, they haven't seen it because it's sold out. Like her sister-in-law is in town and brother-in-law, and sister with brother-in-law, same thing. They wanted to, but that's where, and that was a stat too that they said like it was like 5 to 10 million of people that Oppenheimer made the first weekend because they couldn't see Barbie, and that's a true thing because
Right.
my sister-in-law was like, yeah, I'll go see Mission Impossible. I'm like, oh yeah, really? Like I didn't strike her as a fan. She's like, yeah, I want to see Barbie, but I can't. And I feel like it's crazy that and that just shows. I think it's 2 years in a row. No one thought Top Gun was going to be like that movie, and no one. I thought Barbie would do well, but I never thought this well. You know, I did not think it's going to be $1 billion by next week. Like all the records it's breaking and things like that. I did not think that it would be this massive success. I knew it would, but I think that for the most part, it's kind of crazy to see what has happened with it. So I'm really interested. But I think, like Dylan said, people might try and replicate it, but I think it'll be the old way where one movie does well and then another movie eats it, because it was not a manufactured thing. It was like a fun meme that people started together and it became a thing. It wasn't that the studios got together like, hey, Barbenheimer, you know, it just, at the end of the day too, I think it also helps that I think both movies relatively well, or would have done relatively well by themselves. I don't think to this extent. Same thing, Oppenheimer. I did not think in the summer it'd be doing better than The Flash or Indiana Jones. I would not, and that's like really impressive stat for Nolan. And again, I think that just shows that Nolan's name has a bunch of power, and maybe Tenet's like box office not doing the greatest was more of because it was still in the middle of COVID, because there were COVID movies that did well, but maybe that was more a thing that Nolan's name carries so much weight. And with both of them, like you said, Clay, I know she says she's doing Narnia next, but I feel like she could put that on the back burner for now, because she's going to have that carte blanche to do whatever. Like, there's only a certain time in a director's career where you can go, like after Nolan The Dark Knight, like that's how Inception happened, because The Dark Knight happens, like, hey, you can make anything. And same thing with Greta. I don't think she's going to do like a small independent picture, but whether it's another IP or another big, like a box office budget or just a budget, I feel that now Narnia can always be there. I'm kind of disappointed that Narnia is just going to be on Netflix and they don't put it in theaters. Like, if you want that to blow up, I don't know, but yeah, I think it's that just people were interested in both movies, and then somehow this became a life of its own.
I mean, obviously it helps that you have two like world-class directors.
Yeah.
And like people generally love both these movies. I feel like people would still like these movies as much as they do, even if it was outside of this whole eventness of it. Obviously, me and Clay are exception on Barbie there, and Carl hates/loves Oppenheimer. I'm still confused by that review, but like generally people really like these movies, and so that's obviously going to help when you have great movies from great directors. So I no doubt they're going to try this again in the future, and it will be with a worse movie with a lesser known director and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
and maybe
it's gonna
that's
be like
when
Craven and Fast
maybe that's when it
11.
eats dust. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be some.
I wouldn't mind if Greta Gerwig pulled kind of a Ryan Johnson like he did with Knives Out, where he's like, hey, I'm going to Netflix. I'm making this movie for Netflix, but at the same time, I'm going to do other projects. Like I loved, I know S-Books, you liked it too. What was it? With Natasha.
Poker Face? I love Poker
See
Face.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Poker
I thought
Face
that
is
was
so good.
super fun. I wouldn't mind if she's like doing Narnia, but then also trying to do some side stuff and just using that Netflix thing for a paycheck. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure for people who really like Narnia, I don't have that much of a relationship to it. It's kind of a bummer that wouldn't be in theaters, but
Yeah.
But I mean, she could use this juice from Netflix to get other things made that are smaller, kind of like Poker Face. So I don't know. I'm not completely opposed to it. We'll see what happens.
I mean, it could be in theaters. Like
Yeah.
Knives
Right.
Out went to
Last
theaters.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So if it's good enough and they think it's gonna, generate that, I think they'll probably throw it in theaters for
I
at
mean,
least
she
one.
could use
I don't
like
trust
the Barbie success to be like, yeah, we need to put this in
Yeah,
theaters.
from the
like, see
director
how
of
much my
Barbie,
other
yeah.
movie made.
Throw that
But
in.
like with Ryan Johnson, they barely put it in theaters for whatever
It's
the
like a week
Knives
and a
Out
half
sequel
or
was.
something.
It was
seven-
yeah.
It was like
that
Thanksgiving.
That was dumb
Yeah.
of them because it made a ton of money, didn't it?
Yeah, well,
I think for like this
yeah.
run, it made like a crazy amount of. I
Yeah.
think someone calculated like if
Mhm.
it had been a normal release, it would have made like. And someone calculated like if it made this amount of money in 1 week, like if we projected it, I forget how much it was. But it was like a lot. Probably, I
Weird.
think it was more than the first
Yeah.
Knives Out.
Because
So
it's one of
weird.
those that they didn't put out the actual stats, Netflix, which is weird because if it had like a good run, you'd feel like, but that's just Netflix in general. Obviously, that's what the
Yeah.
strike's about too, right? It's like stats and like all these view counts and stuff. So, and that's the interesting thing where now this would be the time usually in Hollywood where big breakout hit and then she'd be signing some first look deal with somebody that would last for 10 to 15 years or 5 years. But right now, that's a rumor that they're cutting first look deals and everything. So it's an interesting time to have this massive hit, and it's just, yeah, I do think at least with Narnia, I think it'll for sure go to theaters, or like I said, I could see her still doing something else because the rumors, I think she's supposed to be doing like the first two, which is it's odd. It's just a weird jump to go from you're gonna have like the biggest movie of the year, biggest female opening, it's gonna be top ranked, and then just to go to Netflix and do Narnia, and that's not a bad thing. And Netflix can be huge, but it's just I feel like you should use that. You want to use that, from the director of blank, and you get people to go and see this. And Yeah,
I don't know. Is Rebel Moon gonna be in theaters? I think the rumors that it is.
That's the rumor. I think Zach will. If Army of Dead was in theaters, I think he'll get it there at least. I don't know if it depends what happens because that's that same week where you're supposed to have like Wonka the week before and then Aquaman and then that. So I'm not sure if they'd be like, oh, I don't know, but I think that's all the rumors I've heard that he's like the plan is for it to be theatrical. At least for you'll probably get only like a week, and I hope so because that one I'd like to see theatrical because most Netflix movies I don't like when they put Red Notice and Gray Man. I didn't go to the theaters to see that, but
They
with
had that in
Rebel Moon I
theater?
would. Yeah,
Did Red Notice
yeah.
in theater?
Yeah,
Oh,
for like
Netflix-
a week.
for a lot of movies, if you look, they don't really advertise it, but if you go to like just like your movie theater and look through the showtime, sometimes Netflix movies they're just in theaters like a week before, like that Gal
Yeah.
Gadot movie that's coming out. That I'd only seen the name and I was expecting it to be like, I mean, I think it's gonna be bad, but I saw the trailer for it and it's like Fast and Furious type, just
Yeah.
like insanity. So I'm like, okay, I might actually like this. So
What
I'm
is
not
it?
gonna
It's like
see it
Heart
in
of
theaters.
Ice or
but
something like that.
Heart of Stone, and
Heart
her
of
name's
Stone,
like
yeah.
Agent Stone or something like that.
So
I've never heard of this movie.
Are Netflix like just
Oh, yeah.
Heart of
doing like
Ice?
the bare minimum for like Oscar nomination stuff in terms of the theater?
I think
Obviously, they're
that's
trying to
why
make a little
it was
extra
in
money,
theaters.
but like, why would they not keep it in theaters longer and make more money? Is that
They
like
want you to
reduce
sub, I
the
guess.
exclusiveness of having to go to Netflix to then see the movie later on? That's a weird business model. the way they're
Yeah,
doing it.
and it's weird because I didn't know. I suppose that movie was going to theaters at Hearthstone because I remember the CEO being like, "Oh, we're gonna start doing a lot less theatrical runs," which was strange because like Knives Out did well, and but Dylan, you're right. Where the Oscar ones, there is like even now the Oscar changed rules where it's even harder that you have to run in more cities and longer for certain ones, and Netflix is just pissed because they keep trying to get it and
Right.
they don't. But
I'm definitely not going to see this in theaters if it is in theaters, but I'm curious as to what the seats look like, just for people like actually getting seats to see this movie.
like Heart of Stone, yeah. Oh,
I'd
just
have
watch
to
the
check
trailer
if
quickly.
anyone's bought it already.
When
Sit
is
right
it
next to
out?
them. Biggest
August
Gal Gadot
11th.
fan.
It says on Netflix.
oh,
So
jeez. So it's
Oh,
probably
I
the
guess
week
it might
before.
come
Is that
out.
the
Yeah.
is that the Gal Gadot one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't there another guy in there? Is it like Jamie Dornan or someone? Is there like
Jamie
another
Dornan.
male? It is
Jamie
Jamie
Dornan.
Dornan.
There's
It's like
also
the most
There's
bland.
also
like
the German guy from Army of
Matthias.
Army of the Dead, yeah, and he's in
Matthias.
Barbenheimer
Oh,
too.
shit.
Oh, that guy's
Schweighöfer,
fun.
what do you
Yeah,
say?
I actually like him.
Yeah, he was in
I saw Army of
Oppenheimer.
Thieves.
He was in
Yeah, he
Oppenheimer
was.
for a
Yeah.
It was
second.
Heisenberg.
Yeah. I didn't know it was
Okay,
him
yeah.
because he looked a bit older, and I swear there's another actor that looks like him. But he's just there's like probably 20 to 30 actors that are just in the Netflix Rolodex. So when you see him,
And
and
they
then
call him up.
yeah, they're just in so much. I can't remember me and Emily watched a movie
He has
recently
like a
where there
Netflix
was.
original like sports movie about like swimming. It's like a biopic or something.
yeah.
He's like a coach or something. I just
And
saw him
remember
like he
he-
just shows up in these movies.
And he directed that Army Dead spinoff. Remember? Is it
I like
Thieves
Army of
Dead or
Thieves more
whatever?
than Army of the Dead. I
Do
think it's
you?
a better movie.
Oh,
and he
yeah,
directed it.
Really, I haven't watched it still. Maybe
It's
I
fun.
will.
It's really funny. It's a prequel because the only time they mention it is like at the very end. There's just a scene from Army of the Dead, like that's the post credit scene, and then like in the middle of the movie, it's like, oh yeah, did you hear about the zombies? And there's like a TV in like a restaurant, and there's just like zombies running around. They're like, yeah, it's crazy. That's like the only time they mentioned it.
I still got to see that because I really liked Army of the Dead.
Well, they're supposed to.
That's
They're supposed to
cool.
be making.
I don't think
Las
that's happening. There was like
Vegas?
an animated series that was supposedly happening.
You don't think it's
and
happening
a
anymore?
sequel. I don't think there's been like no news about that animated show since it was announced.
Yeah, he has been doing lots of Rebel Moon stuff. So because I know they've said that they announced a sequel to Army of the Dead proper, and I can't remember what it was like.
And it's called like
s-
Planet of the Dead.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I knew it was some like broad term, but yeah, that guy. It was like
I
when
feel like
we
he
meet.
just shifted to like
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. Just like
Yeah.
give me all the spin-offs, but for Rebel Moon and
Maybe it's
stuff.
the same universe. Maybe that's where it connects.
It could.
It
be.
honestly could be with
Yeah.
the aliens in Army of the Dead.
Yeah, but no, that guy he popped up with something else. Yeah, it's the same thing. Me and Emily were watching. Not murder mystery, but there's some Netflix movie where just like all the cameos were just people that are in other Netflix things. I know they're actors, but then like they just can't like they must sign some deal of like, hey, you do 1-star thing and then maybe a couple appearances. Oh, Idris Elba when he just pops up for an Extraction 2 for like 2 scenes. I'm like, right, because he has this DJ series. Like it's just like he's a guy where it's just and there's no like fanfare, but yeah, no, Kirkland, we had Red Notice at Grand 10 and it was around Christmas time and I looked, those theaters were empty. Like no one was seeing and that's Netflix's biggest movie of all time, but no one
Bigger
was
than
seeing.
Endgame.
You know what?
Bigger
I
than
bet
Endgame, yeah.
I bet Netflix does that in parts that they can, if they want, they can change like the thumbnail of Extraction and just like Idris Elba. And
Yeah, they do.
I- 'cause
Yeah.
I'm sure
I think
they
that was my
personalize a lot of
thumbnail,
that
yeah.
stuff, right? But even just like if he's really hot right now, they're seeing on Google searches people are looking for Idris Elba, they can change the thumbnail of that. And it's kind of misleading, but like technically he's in there. So I bet that's why they do random little cameos like that.
That's happened so
you're
many
completely
times
right.
on
Yeah.
Netflix
Part of the
of just
machine.
like a random character that I'm like, oh, he's in this movie. And then you watch the
Yeah.
movie and like
Yeah.
they're actually in it for like
Yeah.
one scene.
Yeah, or
Happens
you've
all
seen
the
it
time.
before, and you're like, they were nobody, and they're in it for one scene. Like this, just because like so and so's blowing up right now. So you're absolutely right, which I get it, and it's just funny. But yeah, Netflix they just keep those people. They got this Rolodex of actors that will they're doing their Netflix.
They didn't
stuff
keep
and-
me though when they did the family sharing thing. I'm still gone.
Yeah. Yeah, they it worked for them. They got like almost 6 million more subs and stuff. So
shit.
it worked out. So we'll see the rest of the year, but they're fine for a while, and they're gonna start pumping a lot of more reality shows and everything for the next little bit. And yeah, I don't know. It's
Tickets not on sale for Heart of Stone yet.
damn.
Let's see it. But it's out
I'll
this
keep my eye
Friday,
out.
apparently.
That's not looking good.
Solo review from Kirkland Pats of the first movie, Heart of Stone. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I will be watching that one. I wanted to see Talk to Me this weekend, but I was busy there. But because you three, other than Carl, you guys have seen it, right? Or Clay, did you get around to it? I can't remember you were talking about. Yeah, what do you guys think about Talk to Me? Is it worth seeing in the theaters or yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked it.
I
Yeah.
thought it was fun.
It's on my
Okay,
list
good.
now. I forgot about it because I thought those initial trailer was like, this looks all right. But
Yeah, I
after
didn't
seeing
like
you
the
guys'
trailer.
rankings in April, I
Yeah.
think you have it at number 1, right? So I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna.
Right.
It's on my
yeah.
list my to watch list for sure.
Yeah, that's
I
big.
What was that?
I have a random question. Oh, did you say what movie is that, Carl?
Yeah.
It's like the one with the embalmed hand that they have to touch.
It's an A24
If
horror
you didn't
movie.
see an Oppenheimer trailer, I'm gonna go ahead and say he didn't see the trailer for.
I
this
well,
movie.
do you know
I
what,
only
Donovan,
saw
it's
this
so
trailer
funny.
once in theaters before Renfield.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw it in. I don't think it ever popped up in a theater for me actually.
I think you're right about.
I didn't even
some
know
other
this was a
horror
whole
movie.
meme. I was like, what the hell's Barbenheimer? That's
Did you just find out now?
That's
Really?
crazy.
Oh my goodness!
And I was laughing to myself.
I
what,
kind of envy you,
um,
honestly, to some extent.
I don't sometimes. Because was it you, Dylan, that said that your mom even knew the meme?
Oh yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I had like a
no.
family dinner recently, and like every single person had like seen some
Yeah.
collection of these movies and was talking about it. Like it's just, it's gone past the geekverse of it all. The that intense audience part of it.
I had to ask because Kirkland, you weren't allowed to see Barbie with Shay. Did she end up seeing Barbie?
She hasn't seen it yet. She had a group of friends
wow.
that she was gonna see it with, and then they all kind of like canceled last minute. So now she was really pissed 'cause she could have gone with me in the first place. And I'm like,
Wow! Don't
Missed
see
the
it with her.
opportunity.
Teach her a lesson. Like don't. Like,
she's gotta go see it alone.
And
It sucks
then
too, because like there's so many things that I want to reference that she just, and I know she's gonna love it for sure. Like it's totally up her alley, and all the songs I'm just like keep singing to myself, and I can't even like share the significance. Like this is Ken. I've like played that song. She's like, this means nothing to me.
Yeah.
Or I'm just Ken. Sorry, this
Yeah.
is Ken.
Oh, I was waiting. Like the second we saw the movie, I could finally blare "Push" by Ryan Gosling on the radio. It was so good. Which again, that just killed. Like that's the fun thing. Like we were at the drive-in, me and Taylor, and like obviously you don't have the roof and this reduced audio, but when that happened, just the fucking just chuckles all around. Like because it's just that moment of okay, it's just gonna go on for a bit. And when they jumped to that 4 hours later part, everybody was just dying. It was a good time. The movie. I also saw No Hard Feelings too. That was the double feature at the drive-in, and that was a good time. I had lots of fun with that one. So, Dylan, I was gonna ask, what did Muds think of Barbie?
Oh, she loved it. She
Okay.
loved it. She has seen it again,
Divided.
like many
Ooh.
people are, with another friend who wants to see it. Like I think on Tuesday or something like that. So
Nice.
she's going again. But yeah, I mean that was kind of our deal. Was like I'll go to Barbie with you if you come to Oppenheimer with me. So we both kind of kept each other company. So she appreciated Oppenheimer as like a well-made movie, but she's like, I don't really care for this a whole lot.
Oh, so she's in my camp.
She didn't call it Schittenheimer.
Kind of,
though.
I guess. A very confusing review of like
Schittenheimer.
it's good, but I don't like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
definitely
it's
that
not
ballpark.
it's not cinema worthy for me. It wasn't worth sitting 3 hours and paying all that
Nolan
money to
is
watch.
just It's so
Yeah, I
mad
could
right
watch
now
that
that
at
you're
home.
saying not cinema worthy.
I am
Yeah,
looking.
He
went
doesn't
on
even
the
care if you
phone.
think it's a bad movie, but cinema worthy is where.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I like to keep that for special movies like the Turtles.
Oh yeah, that is out this
Hell
week.
yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I'm really
it's
excited
yeah,
for
it
that.
comes
Sick
out
of those
Wednesday.
trailers, too.
Tuesday,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
For
yeah.
us?
It's tomorrow. It's Tuesday for us. Some people got it. Like Brent got. They had it on Saturday. He had to go.
There's a
he-
bunch of early screenings. I really
Yeah.
wanted to go,
Yeah.
but one of my friends is like he's like on vacation, but he's coming back, so I'm gonna see it with him. But it looks really good. It just like all the clips and stuff. I'm just excited for
Yeah.
it.
Make sure he actually
I've
goes
seen
and
that
doesn't
trailer.
leave you. You know, like like Shay's friends. You know, doesn't leave you alone. Yeah, no, I'm excited. That is a really good score, and I'm excited for. I like Turtles. I'm not like the Turtles guy. Like this might be sacrilege. I still couldn't name you which one's which. Like that's my level of
Me
fandom.
neither.
Like yeah, like I like them a lot, but it's just not never like. It's funny. Like I like them a lot, and I feel like I did watch them a bunch as a kid, but I guess just as I've gotten an adult, I kind of left it in the past. Kind of same as Power Rangers that we're watching right now. But yeah, I feel like Turtles is gonna be. I think it will do relatively well. It's tough because I think Barbie's just going to eat up. Like that's like usually our drive-in. It usually switches every 2 weeks where they've painted the whole thing pink. You can tell like okay until October, it's always going to be Barbie and another movie. Like it's going to be like Top Gun, and I think Turtles will do well because it's a family movie. But then after that, you got Blue Beetle, which is just going to eat it, and you got I think even though it has good reviews, I know you liked it, S-Bubs, I still think Gran Turismo's not going to like do too
Oh, yeah.
well. But I
And
think
did
it's,
you see the new release strategy they did? That makes
oh
like
my
no
god.
sense. It's
Yeah.
like limited release, like 1 week, then it gets more theaters on like a Wednesday, and then all the theaters on like a Friday.
Did you see the last thing they said in that press release of the promotion?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're
The
like, we
fans are
can't
gonna
promote
promote
it, but the fans can. It was like, oh, you
love that.
slimy bastards! Like, yeah, but no, I think
the trailer
August is
actually
just
looked good.
yeah.
Yeah, I
There you
like the
go.
trailer.
That one.
That was probably
It-
on my
it's a
list.
good movie.
Gran
I
Turismo.
liked it.
Yeah, and Stray. That was one of the trailers that was in.
Sure,
Yeah, that's the
Oppenheimer.
same weekend
I'm
as
like-
Blue Beetle. Yeah,
High-
they put
higher
strays on
opening weekend.
Oppenheimer.
Stray Beamer.
They put strays on Oppenheimer. No
I
one
had
must have-
like I feel like
Blue
7 or 8
States.
trailers before Oppenheimer, which already is a long movie, right? I don't know why, but that movie had so many fucking trailers. It was insane.
Yeah.
I saw it on like the 70 millimeter, not the IMAX, just like the regular one. But it was cool because they just had like the regular trailers, and then they switched to like the film, and then there were two more
That's cool.
trailers. Yeah, there was one
Yeah.
for like a movie called like The Holdovers.
I'm so
Which is
excited for
like-
that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Giamatti one,
I'm
right?
so
But the
excited.
trailer on
Yeah.
film looked like amazing, like the
Ah.
aesthetic of it.
Agreed.
And then they had the Exorcist trailer, but on film. I don't know why they put that one on film, but I don't know. I don't like. I don't think I'm gonna see it. Like, there's only one of the David Gordon Green Halloween movies that I like. So
You got a bunch of Exorcist movies you could watch though. You know, October, spooky
Exorcist
time.
ranking, yeah.
Yeah, Exorcist ranking. Yeah, April.
how
I gotta
many
know,
of
what do
them
you
are there? If there's like, I think the most I've done for like a franchise binge was like Friday the 13th, and those are 12.
I think
That's
it's
Is there more or less?
And
than
most
12?
of them are bad.
Exorcist is like 4 or 5, right? April, I think. right?
Yeah,
How many?
because there's 3, and then a prequel. Yeah, I
the
think there's
beginning. Yeah.
4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not bad. You could not if you did all the known ones, you could knock that off in a weekend.
Well, I
I'm
didn't
just
do
gonna-
all of them. I'm still missing like a few
Right.
of them. I think I'm still missing like Dunkirk,
Hmm.
Insomnia,
like
Following.
Insomnia,
The Following.
Following, and I have seen Interstellar, but I was meaning to rewatch it and I just didn't have the time.
Yeah. Yeah, April, what do you think about the Exorcist trailer? I want to know because I feel like that I've seen so much mix of people being like, "Oh, I'm so ready," and I've seen people just because I'm right in the middle. I see so many people saying that it looks like complete shit, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll go that far.
People
but, like,
clapped in my theater when the trailer ended. They were like, "Oh!" They started clapping.
they do a good job with that theme. I'll give them that. The way they build it, they just drop a note and stop, drop a note, and then the last 30 seconds they just do. It's just like it's going ham. But are you interested in the like? Obviously, I know
mean,
you'll see it, but like
yeah.
after the trailer, yeah.
So so it starts at the beginning and you don't know that's what it is. And it's like
Yeah.
the girls went missing. I'm like, oh, what's this? This looks great. And then they're like, oh, this is the Exorcist.
The
That's
Black
fine, I guess.
Phone too.
The Black Phone too.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I probably won't watch any more trailers, but I'm going to go see it regardless. So
Yeah.
You see the name of the sequel?
The Deceiver, right? I think it is,
Yeah,
right?
it's Believer, Deceiver, and they haven't announced the third one. But I think
bet it's
someone found like a
Redeemer.
rumor name. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Redeemer. That was the
For
rumor
what is
name.
for what is this, sorry?
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
They
Oh,
did the
okay.
Halloween thing where they,
They
already are doing
announced
a
sequel
trilogy.
for this one. They're that
Yeah.
confident. Yeah. Okay.
I think they
Yeah.
announced this before Halloween Ends box
Yeah.
office, but David Gordon Green, he took advantage of that.
Yeah, but this one they're not doing the dual release, right? Because Halloween Ends ended on
No.
Paramount and or no,
They're
what
doing
was
the
it?
FNAF
Peacock.
dual release. That's what they're doing.
Right, they're doing it for
This
that
year.
one. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I love the first Exorcist, but I've not actually watched it in a very long time. And I said this before that I want to do a retro, but Taylor will not because it's a movie that he says I can't
Oh,
watch
yeah.
certain things because they might bring things to my house. Makes no sense. He'll do
That's
cryptic clues
the
stuff about this
most
stuff.
Taylor thing
But
ever,
like, yeah, it's the most Taylor thing where like, oh, because these things, and he'll watch all the Conjuring movies though. It's like, so whatever, it's fine. We're doing other stuff. But I think I don't know if it's a theatrical one. If I get enough good buzz, like if April likes and other people that like horror movies enjoy it, I will go. But if it's a kind of like it's fine, that's a VOD one for me because I got Saw and there's another horror Friday Night Freddy's. That's a VOD one for me. I don't need to go to the theaters for that one.
I have to go to the theater for that one.
You have to? Have to.
Yeah.
Really?
Marshall, my son, he wants to watch it.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah,
So,
Yeah, Liam is very excited for the Five Nights at Freddy's.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's so
I
funny. It's just like a little mini horror movie, and these the kids are the ones pushing. Like, we gotta go see that bear.
Could I?
I finally
could I
watched
ask a
Barbarian, though.
Mm-hmm.
Summer movie question to everybody.
Sure,
Mhm.
maybe.
So I was gonna ask this before, like I was gonna ask this a couple days ago. I thought of it, and then right before we did this after 9 today, S Bubs posted the thing about Macquarie saying that he was gonna do some R-rated Tom Cruise movie. I was gonna ask everybody like, what would you like to see Macquarie do next after Mission Impossible, whether it's with Tom Cruise or without? I don't know I can't remember if I had a good answer. Or not.
McCoy right now, I think he has 3 things like in
Okay.
the works. He has like that movie, the Ari one. He has like what's described as like an old school like Hollywood musical with Tom
Yeah.
Cruise.
Oh wow.
And then he's doing like I don't think he's directing, but he's doing the Les Grossman movie. I think producing and writing.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's doing nothing but Tom Cruise. Like
Yeah,
Tom Cruise
that's his
loves
guy
this
now.
guy.
Like yeah.
Yeah,
didn't
this
know
is
that.
his guy. Yeah, I don't think the Les Grossman thing happens. They've been working on that since Tropic Thunder because I remember after Tropic Thunder they announced that we're doing this movie, and I don't think it's a good idea. I think if you want to do another movie that universe and he come back at Les Grossman, sure, but I think in that point you don't do Stiller, you don't do Downey, you do like a whole new cast. You just have him there. The rated R thing, I want it to be something more darker or villainous. My favorite role of Cruise is still Collateral. I love him in that movie. He's so good. So I'm excited. I hope. I don't know what they're doing with Mission Impossible. I'm very confused because did I misremember that? I thought they announced this as like the finale, but now Cruise has been like, well, I'm gonna play this till I'm 80. So I'm like.
Yeah.
That's why we're still doing the retro, but that's why we did the retro because like, okay, well, it's gonna be the last Mission Impossible cruise. It's a good send off, and I feel like now at the box office, it's not doing bad, but it shows that maybe it's time to like maybe people are kind of, you had the peak and now you're going downwards. So I just want him to do more. And he's older, less action stuff. Like I that's some of my favorite stuff with him is his non-action stuff, like that Interview with the Vampire. He gets to act in these movies, but I feel like so many times I know people love him running, and I know they love him doing the bikes, but half these movies is not him doing acting, right? It's stunts, and that's an event. But like I miss Tom Cruise, the actor. That's why I like Mission Impossible 3 the best because I feel like he gets to act a lot in that one, and it's not about him hanging on a building or hanging on a plane. It's him like dealing with his wife and the life and Philip Seymour Hoffman. So I hope it's just something character study and it's not some radar like a hitman is after the guy that killed his wife. Like I don't need it. I worry it could be like a John Wick thing, and I don't need Tom Cruise to do his John Wick action movie. So that's what I want.
Tom Cruise said that doing it until he's like 80. I think that was like it just happened to be with the Mission Impossible. I think the full quote was more about like he wanted to be like Harrison Ford, who just does movies until like
Okay.
forever. That was just more of his quote because he said something like, "Yeah, I've still got like this many years to catch up to Harrison Ford, like to keep doing movies."
Okay.
That was his quote, and
That's
it was just like I think it was a Mission Impossible interview, so that's why some like articles might have taken like he's doing Mission Impossible until he's 80.
Okay, I pulled a Taylor then. I'll but
That's like the ice storm, the hailstorm
Yeah.
killing.
Yeah.
110
well,
people.
if you click the article.
Cruise will play Ethan Hunt till 80. That's good. Yeah.
I don't know if I have enough history with this guy to give you a good answer for that, Clay. You said his name, McQuarrie. I'm like, I've never heard of this man in my entire life. So
He only blew up with the Mission Impossible. He had been a
Yeah, what did he do
writer and a
before?
producer.
He did the first Jack Reacher with Cruise,
Yeah.
and I think
Okay.
they just like hit it off. And he's like, yeah, just do every movie for me now.
Yeah.
And
Because he
I
was a
think those
writer
have been
and
like
producer
all
on
his next
Maverick,
movies.
I think.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
I
a
saw that.
producer. I think
Sounds
maybe
like
a
it.
writer on Top Gun.
Because you're talking, I
Writer.
suppose I went to go search McQuarrie. I put in Christopher Reacher because you said Reacher, so my brain just like took it. Like that person doesn't exist, by the way. But
But yeah, are people looking at him as like, I don't know, when he's doing these, like, oh, what a great director, like he's got a great vision and stuff like that? Is he someone you guys look up to, I guess, in that way?
I do. I mean, I thought parts of this new Mission Impossible were super overwritten. I had a lot of the same issues Travis did with the AI stuff, and he's a writer on it. And I think he overbakes his dialogue quite a bit, and they kind of just talk in circles the whole movie. But as like a visual director, I think he's one of the better action guys up there
Okay,
with I think Stahelski's the best right now, which isn't a controversial opinion,
Yeah.
but you know.
Nice.
oh, he wrote The Tourist back in 2010. Oh,
That movie stinks.
yeah. He also wrote Valkyrie in 2008 with Cruise. Remember that World War II movie he did? So he's been around Cruise a couple times now. But and he wrote Edge of Tomorrow as well, which they keep saying that. Oh, he wrote the Mummy. So here's my point.
Wow.
I think
is-
he
so-
just gets him on like everything. He's
Yeah,
just like,
true.
yeah, just come in here, right? I think the Mummy must have been like I think that's like a rewrite, because I know he's not
I
the
think it was
main
rewrite
guy.
a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a mess of a movie.
Because they rewrote. I was looking because of the Apocalypse, the next one. That's why it's rewritten.
Which is sorry.
Wow. Good point.
He's really happy about his point. He's not going to answer me. He's not going to answer
I
me.
love
He's
those
just-
timings. Those timings will never get old.
Right?
Yeah.
You ask a good question. Always,
Yeah. So that's Bubs. You like Last Mission Impossible? It's
Loves
good. Yeah. My point with him is I need to see, because Kirkland and anyone else that saw this movie can back me up, where we got Top Gun last year. Joseph Krasinski, he was the guy. The same way all in the game, right? You asked where, like, could you see Greta doing a DCU movie? Maybe. I think it just all depends on their budget. But, like, I think Warner Bros. Is going to do everything they can to make that happen. Like, Supergirl's sitting right there, and I feel like they could try. And Greta, like, she's been completely saying, like, she wants to get into big blockbusters. It's not been like, oh, we'll see, like, she wants to transition into doing that stuff, which I think it would be good, because other than Catherine Bigelow, we don't have, like, a female Nolan, right? We don't have that name that comes out where it's like, oh, that's an event movie. So Barbie gives her cachet, but Joseph Krasinski, he did Top Gun Maverick, and he was like the next guy that everyone's like, oh, he's direct just this. And then we watched Bird Box on Netflix. Was it Bird Box or what was the movie he did with Chris
Spiderhead.
Spiderhead. Yeah, he directed that, and that was on Netflix. And I remember just being, because that was so exciting. It was him, Miles Teller, and Krasinski. It's like, oh, on Netflix, this is gonna be great. And that movie was, I think, it was my bottom 5 last year. So it's the same with McQuarrie. I need to see him do something directing wise that's not Mission Impossible before I can make him like a must see. Because I think I'm with you, Clay, that he is like so good at the action stuff. But and it's a credit to him. Cruise also, I don't think it's like a rumor, but like it's always heavily implied, like he's kind of like a co-director on these things,
Yeah.
right? So it's one of these things where, and he's been around for so long, it's like, is like how much of it's McQuarrie and how much is it Cruise? And the problem is, all these next movies, it's him and Cruise, so you'll never
separate
know.
them, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to see him do something alone, and then I could, even if it was more like an independent. It's the same way. It's funny. I was always like, after the Justice League stuff with Zack Snyder, I was like, oh, he should go do something smaller, and then he did a zombie movie and a space movie. So he never has. But I always want to see, like, there was a movie he was working on about a character that was just in a cabin dealing with like depression or something. I was like, oh, I always want to see, like, what do you do with a director that's so visual, then you strip that down. I feel like that's the test, and that's what I want with McQuarrie, but. No, I think he's gonna do even the musical thing. I think be pretty visual, and even Cruise. Remember, he's still working on that space movie where he's gonna go to space and film, like actually go to space. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but he's still working on that, and I'm sure McQuarrie will be a part of that. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, when did I cut out, or did I cut out? Because I think my Wi-Fi just like died.
Oh yeah, I can't. You cut out. You're saying McQuarrie did a rewrite on something else, and I asked you what, and you're just smiling the whole time. So it was a great cut.
It's like
But-
we're talking
Yeah,
about X-Men or something.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like the Mummy was rewritten because the post-credit scene of Days of Future Past has like that like skinny apocalypse like blue guy, and so they rewrote the Mummy because that was going to be the design. They changed it to a female villain.
Oh,
Because
wow.
that was like the exact design of the villain of the Mummy, and then
Really?
there's the Apocalypse design in Days of Future Past, which they changed anyway to Oscar Isaacs, but they're like, we're gonna have the same villain. We need to change this.
That's so
That-
weird.
And even then, it's like it's the Mummy and X-Men. Like I get
Because
you want to look different, but
desert, he's like moving stuff with sand.
Yeah.
And he's like all blue, like sort of mummy looking. You don't really see him in the post credit, but for some reason they took that's like, yeah, we need to change that.
That's
I
crazy.
just had to remove the logo off because Kirkland was just. Big
Oh, yeah.
It's
block.
hiding.
No,
I'm
you
hiding
can
in
sit
the
there.
bushes.
I'll take it down. You're good. You're good. But yeah, that's funny, man. That dark universe. That's a story in itself. Just how bold that was. I just remember that photo. Cruz, Javier Bardem, Crow, Johnny
They're all in the
Depp.
same room.
Yeah, on the
They're all
same room.
photoshopped in, yeah.
Oh, the best thing is too because Russell. It's just a character. It's just a photo of Russell Crowe as Dr. Jackal, and he's holding his cane. But in the photo they did together, they photoshopped the cane out, but he's still like holding something. it's like that is.
He's
out
holding
of
his
all-
movie ticket. Like,
Yeah,
come check out
yeah.
the Dark Universe.
Out of all the universes, like you'd have to make a list, but I think that's the biggest blunder because there's ones that have started and tried, but to do the whole like we've cast Depp and Bardem and like we're doing a whole Invisible Man Mummy, and it just died. But you know, speaking of not dying but life, you know,
Hey.
Maddie Sags is here. You know,
Hello,
good to
hello.
see you.
How's it? We have a full
My
house
brother.
today. This is beautiful.
Mhm.
Lovely to see. How's everyone doing?
Doing
Very
great, man.
good.
Yeah.
Doing good, Maddie.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. Came a bit late. I had some stuff to do, but I'm glad I got to pop in a bit. Nice to see everyone. Mr. Carl, the return. I feel like I never hear from you, man. In the Discord, you're
No,
MIA now. I
I'm-
miss you, man.
It's so shit. It's so shit. I hate life. It was so much simpler. Bring back COVID. It was a
Escalated
simpler time.
Okay.
Bring back
I
COVID.
escalated way
Bring
too
back
Not many of those
hailstorms
people
and
in this-
COVID.
Carl's canceled.
Bring it back.
Oh my god.
Have you seen Barbenheimer, Carl? I'm sure you guys have talked about it. I just need
Oh,
to hear.
yeah.
Carl, give him your
Great.
one-word review
Yeah.
for Oppenheimer.
Oh no!
Schittenheimer.
Oh my god!
But that actually
that
means
to
he liked
Maddie,
it though.
don't you
it was a perfectly made movie, nothing bad.
But it was
about
a perfectly
Okay,
made
okay,
movie with great
okay.
actors, but you know, it
Just
was
didn't
boring.
vibe with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
it was
al-
3 hours in the cinema that didn't need to waste.
Yeah.
My favorite part about it is, Maddie, if you go back and listen, you'll hear this, but he didn't know
Sure.
it was about the bomb. He,
Oh my God.
he thought it was like some
Yeah,
sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
did. My head automatically just went for a sci-fi movie, and I was like, "Oh, this will be fun."
Did you see like any trailers or anything, or you just went in
Nope,
blind?
nothing.
Okay. Oh my god.
Went,
He only
Tried-
saw
tried
it
to watch-
because he was going to be on Afro9 today. I was like, I better check it
But he
out.
didn't see Barbie, which
So it's
Maddie, I
our
don't.
fault too that he went to
Yeah.
this Schittenheimer.
I'm in
3
that
hour-
boat. Yeah, I
Hell
didn't do it
fest.
on. I was planning on going actually this past Wednesday. I had checked like a few days prior for seats, and all the best seats were already taken. Man, it was insane. So I didn't end up going, but I do plan on going very shortly. Hopefully this week I'm gonna try and go.
Well, we just talked about it before. We're gonna,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about some song stuff. But why do you think like Barbie and Oppenheimer have done so well? Because like obviously Barbie's gonna be the biggest movie. Like I think it's gonna pass Mario. Mario has those international markets that did really well. If not, it's gonna be close. And then you got Oppenheimer, who's still just doing really well. Why do you think they've both done so well?
It's hard to say, man. I don't know. I guess like it was a perfect storm of the two like complementing each other. I guess like I'm glad to see Oppenheimer doing well, and with Barbie,
Yeah.
it's like just like the rate that it's done it at like is insane.
Mhm.
Like you were putting those numbers in the Discord, I was like, how is it hitting these numbers already? It's like it was insane. So just the speed that it's done it at is crazy to me. But I don't know, man. Even when I had gone to the theater, like I hadn't seen crowds like that. Like I mean.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys touched on it a bit too, but it's like I've gone to like a lot of premieres of like No Way Home or some other big movies, but even at that, like I haven't seen crowds, like just general crowds in the cinema like that. It was cool to see, man. I'm happy.
Yeah, I think for me, last time I saw a crowd like that was probably No Way Home. I've had theaters that were full, like Batman was pretty full and Doctor Strange, but like No Way Home was last time I remember. Like it's filled to the brink. It's like lines, like people are like each showing is because all the time too. I'm always seeing like Thursday the first showing, so it's like okay, this is probably the time. But lately, like even this year, I don't know. I feel like anytime like Kirkland's different because you got the big screen on the west side, so every time I look at your theater, it's sold. But like here in Kelowna, it's just it's always like, okay, it's like I'd say like 25, 35, like it's a good crowd in the middle, but those sides, it's just like people are not going to some of these theaters, or they're waiting, and because everything drops on VOD and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
but for me, it was even like just the people in the lobbies, right? It wasn't even like sometimes we'll go and like our theater is full, right? You'll see a packed house for a big movie, but like even just walking out in the lobby and seeing like how full it was, I feel like it's been forever since I've seen like that much life in the theater, you know?
It was
me,
the fullest I had seen it in a long time, and I saw it Saturday at like a matinee for both
Oh my
movies,
God,
and
yeah.
like I hadn't seen crowds like that on like the Thursday early showing for a long time, so it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
For me, the most crowds like that was Avatar 2. Was just like
Right.
insane.
Oh, yeah.
That one was like I had to go. There's like 2 theaters near me, like a smaller one and like a pretty big one, and those 2 were like completely sold out. I had to go to like a third one that was like farther away, and that one was like the lobby like completely full, and like that's one of those theaters where like is here like it was like the Regal theaters. They like never check tickets, like you can pretty much just walk in.
Oh my
And
God.
this time they were just like they were checking every single person to make sure they were there.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we're gonna be on strike, and now the theaters are gonna fucking die because there's gonna be no movies coming out. And just like they survived COVID, and I just love that that report last week of like the companies going in the theaters being like, you should convince the actors to make a deal because theaters are gonna go out of business if you don't. It's just, and I actually don't know what's gonna happen this time. If like, also we got some movies, which is good, but it's just like if it gets to that point of just delaying stuff, it's just. I guess luckily for the summer, and I think September you got Barbie. That'll keep making money and keep bringing people back. But after that, hopefully Dune sticks. Hopefully the Marvel sticks. But I don't know if they're both gonna. And then got stuff in the fall and December.
At least we have Madam Web Valentine's Day next year.
At least we got that. Yeah. And hey, add somehow we'll talk about next is at least we got Saw. That's sticking around. Like I was really worried when all these movies are going around. I just love everything they did. I've never heard of this whatever
Midsummer Scream.
I've never heard of it, but I love just everything all yesterday that Tobin Bell just the big plaster previously recorded. Like they had to make it very sure, like no, Tobin's not promoting this movie. We recorded this months ago, which made sense. It's like, yeah, why is he just hanging on the set of the bathroom at Saw? Like I don't think he'd just be there.
He lives there.
Yeah, he hasn't left in years and stuff, but yeah, no, that's coming out. I'm bummed that's coming out the same day as The Creator because I was excited to see that, and I'll definitely be seeing it at some point. But
I feel like they're keeping Saw because that's when you don't really need like actor promotion. I feel besides like Tobin.
yeah, because and maybe they've re-recorded or just already recorded Tobin just saying, "Oh, I love the Saw franchise," and I like all that stuff you can play and everything like that.
He just filmed it on one day.
he might have. I remember when Saw.
They have the same out. I didn't notice. He might have. I think.
Probably.
Just put him in the bathroom for a day.
I remember there was this report from an insider that was worked on the Saw films on sawfreaks.com when that was still a thing. Because I joined because we told the story before, the retros are going to re-releasing list of those, but I was huge on the Saw IMDb forums, and those got closed down. And then there's sawfreaks.com. I joined that for a retro, and then that got closed down. So we can't win. I think there's just some Reddit out there. But I remember there was some report that's saying like he was really wanting to do another Saw movie because he went through a divorce and he had some like legal bills to pay. So I'm not saying that's a true story, but I'm saying that I remember this is a big thing. Like some insiders like, yeah, it was a bad divorce. He really needs some extra cash flow going on.
I hate you for saying that. I hate you because now I'm just gonna have that in my mind. And I'm like, put that on the fucking COVID.
It's better than what I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say he was going through some divorce. He had some really great ideas for the next Saw movie.
It's like George Lucas on Temple of Doom.
Yeah. No, and again, it's just some person that could have been nobody. Like, there's no, who knows? Maybe he's just happily married now. But yeah, we got that. And Matt, I'll start with you. What are you excited? So we're going back. We kind of heard these from rumors, and whatnot, but we're going back as between Saw 1 and 2, which I learned for the first time that Saw 1 and 7 are a year and a half together. That's the time span, is a year and a half. All those movies happen, which is just like a ridiculous amount of all those characters that die and everything. But yeah, so it's set between 1 and 2. He's going for what is it? Kind of like an unknown procedure, mysterious procedure is going to remove the tumor. And oh no, they didn't remove Jigsaw's tumor, so he's coming back with a vengeance. So are you excited? So, what are you laughing about, Kirk?
It's just funny. It's just
Did you
funny
see the
having my
trailer? trailer?
writing, Kirk.
I haven't seen it. I'll throw it up right now. Actually.
Oh, because just watch
Just
how
my-
they
my
reveal
s-
how he steals the
Yeah, I'll
tumor.
watch it
It's the
too.
best thing. It's
my
like he
major
goes there.
lack of Saw
Yeah.
knowledge just makes this really entertaining. So.
But they said, Kirkland, you could watch this even if you've not seen a Saw movie, which from this trailer I actually believe so far. But
Well, I
Yeah.
have seen the first one, so if you're
Yep.
saying it's
There
in
you
go.
between 1 and 2.
well,
there you
this
go.
is like Saw 2 for you,
Yeah,
really.
that was
It's
nice.
between
Yeah,
Saw 1 and
new
2, so
Saw
you can
2,
pick
yeah.
right up.
That might be a
It's
funny
confirmed
review.
for sure, though. That's the timeline. They confirmed.
Yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Because
That looks
Amanda
good.
has the short hair too, you know, they're
Yeah.
trying their best. So
I wish
And
they
you
would have
said-
gone like the Lion King route, like Saw 1.5.
Saw 1.5. Yeah.
But they, it's coming. It's creator in October. I thought it was September.
Clay said it was the
Yeah.
29th.
It's
Yeah.
September the 27th.
Saw got
or
pushed
whatever.
back, Maddie.
Saw
Did
is
you
in
know that?
September.
It's the 29th. Yeah, sorry, push forward. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always been October, as I've said, because every
Yeah.
teaser for like 5 years was like, if it's Halloween, it must be Saw,
Yeah.
and now they can't do. But I think they're smart because they have Five Nights at Freddy's was going to kick their ass, and then there's
Okay.
also Exorcist, so they were smart to, even then to releasing Saw on the 27th. That's weird. Like you only have 4 days of how there's only 4 days of the Halloween season left. I feel like that is actually smarter to get it out right at the start of October. Then it plays all October, so let's
Right.
go see a spooky movie, right? So
Yeah. And sorry, when is Exorcist? It's end of October.
the 13th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Five Night is the 27th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a pretty. Yeah, that's actually it's a smart move. Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes
Did you
sense.
like the trailer? Did you see the trailer?
It looks good. Actually, I had a buddy of mine over and we put it on. He's never seen Saw, and he was like, I was watching it. I'm like, I feel like he's gonna think this is complete trash. And when it finished, he's like, that actually looks pretty good. So I was like,
Nice.
it looks fun. It looks fun. I mean, I'm on board, man. Anything just to see Tobin back. I feel like he's. Anytime he was on screen, those were my favorite moments, and they're going back to like a fun time, you know, in the timeline with him and Amanda. Give us more of that. We didn't really get much of that, so I'm pumped, man. It's gonna be fun.
Do you guys see the thing about the test screenings for Saw?
I think you had
Yeah.
put it, and that they loved it. Or they're saying you
The
had put
producers thought it was rigged because the audience
Oh.
scores were so high.
That's funny.
And I wonder what their high though is, though, you know, because I feel like in the past they probably just got a bunch of Fs and everything. And, you know, but Maddie, I saw in your letterbox you're already starting to rewatch the series. I saw you logged the first one already. So you're
Yeah, I ended up watching the first one. Rewatching the first one last night, and it's so good, man. So the rewatch has begun. I don't know how quickly I'm gonna rip through them, but I definitely gotta do a little marathon before the new one.
Are you watching them all, or are you watching just the original era? What are you watching?
No, I'll watch them all. Yeah, I'll
All
watch them all.
9. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
all
a
9.
big one. Yeah.
Jigsaw, Jigsaw. Actually, now that you say that, Jigsaw might be a skip because I usually
Yeah.
don't go back to. Spiral, I've actually rewatched it. It's not great. I don't like love it, but it's enjoyable enough for me to rewatch it. But Jigsaw, I think it's an easy skip for me.
Yeah, that's the one for me. I usually I last time I did a rewatch, I did watch them all, but that was because that was the only second time I'd watched Jigsaw, so I was kind of hoping like, oh, maybe I'll like it more this time. And I really didn't, so I feel like it might be a skip for me as well. 'Cause I just like to pretend it doesn't exist. I don't like the idea. I don't like, you know, I have a daughter named Logan. I do not like the character of Logan in Jigsaw. That was a big misstep for me. And you know, but they're people theorize in the trailer that you do hear Hoffman's voice. So, and he's supposed to be in this. So it'll be exciting that they think that his voice is the one. Like, oh, you think you should mess with John Kramer? Like he has the pictures on the wall and stuff. Which again, never remember the greatest retcon ever. That in one movie he was a forensic analyst, and then the next movie he was a sergeant. So best.
Really?
Oh yeah. In Saw 3 he's just the analyst, and then in Saw 4 he's the sergeant, and or he just changed professions big time. He's like, you know what? I want to get on the field. I want to start looking for these guys. I've seen enough of the crime scenes. I gotta get out there. But yeah, so there's that, and then obviously they got that shot of the bathroom, which I'm very curious because they've as I said in the script, they've explained everything about the bathroom. They explain how it got set up. They've shown what happened to Adam. They've killed other people they've killed like 3 other people in the bathroom. I don't know what else there is to do in the bathroom, but you got to go back to the bathroom, right?
I also saw that in the trailer they show like the cancer treatment from Norway, which is the same one from Saw 6.
good. Okay, because I thought you could do. That's a good thing.
I
with
think
Saw
one of the
6.
doctors is the doctor in the photo. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I have to see, but I swear there was like one of the doctors who they puts in the trap is the supposed doctor from Norway, who I guess was in Mexico now, going to help him or something.
I like that because in 6 he did say he was looking for experimental treatment, and that's why they wouldn't cover him because he was trying to like get this tumor removed and stuff. So it sets up, perfectly. So what do you
Well, I
think?
think I'll
Kirkland?
go and rewatch them as well.
I'm not
Manny.
seeing this movie.
He's not
I'm
so.
not watching
He's
this.
not so.
I'm not sold.
Wouldn't you want the revenge though, Kirkland? You go to get the surgery, they tell you got a tumor, and then you live a whole year of your life. You're like, no, it's just right there. It's still there. Big lie.
Terrible healthcare. Terrible
Yeah.
healthcare. That's what you got.
Okay, so sorry. Can you re-summarize because I forget in the trailer? So it's after Saw 1,
Yeah.
and he tries to get an operation to cure himself. It doesn't work, and then and he goes after them.
Yeah, he goes after them
Okay.
right before he goes after Eric
in the
Matthews.
game.
Because he thinks, and I wonder, like, I imagine
Eric
if he
Matthews cameo post credit scene.
get
Same
Donnie
actor.
Wahlberg. Yeah. Donnie Wahlberg was pissed to come back for multiple because he had signed on for he signed on for 2 more, and like for the 4th one, that it was apparently like a big they had troubles really getting him on. Not like he was like hiding, just like he was trying to get out of it. He did not.
He's missing.
Well, no, because like
but you can't find him
because that happened with
Bush
Wesley
over
Snipes in Blade 3. He went to go he would hide in his trailer and be like, I'm not coming out. I'm not doing this. Like he wasn't Donnie Wahlberg wasn't doing that. He was just negotiating like I really don't want to come back for another Saw. Especially because Donnie Wahlberg's role in the 4th one is he stands on a block of ice for 2 hours. Like he must have been like, fuck, what did I sign up for? I'm on Blue Bloods. I'm in New Kids on the Block, and now I gotta stand on a piece of ice for 2 hours. Like, and then spoilers, they just kill him. Nothing good happens. He just gets his head decapitated. Yeah,
Must have been a
just
quick
like-
shoot at least, though. No, it must have been shot at his part.
Real
Must have
time
been so
shoot,
uncomfortable,
just standing
though,
there for
right?
2
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, they're like, we got Donnie for 30 minutes. Go.
They probably just like retaliated and filmed that one scene over the course of like several weeks, like each
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
You stand
sorry,
this
we
way.
need to-
We got to
yeah.
reshoot.
Reshoot.
Yeah, reshoot. Sorry, yeah. And I think because that's the problem because Matthews was a big fan favorite. So that's why they kept bringing him back, and they wanted to bring back Gordon, but because Saw 1, Carrie Elways apparently didn't get paid what he was agreed to, so there was like a big falling out lawsuit thing that happened money wise. So that's why Gordon didn't come back to Saw 7, and that was disappointing. But that's why. So Eric Matthews was the new favorite. So they brought him back for 3, and they brought him back for 4, and yeah, maybe S-Bubs is right. He'll be back for Saw 10, and he'll be looking for John Kramer and cancer treatment. But S-Bubs, you're more near because you watched them for Spiral, right? All of them.
No, just this January.
Just
I don't know.
oh,
I was
okay.
I saw a new one was coming out this year, and I just randomly I decided to watch the first one just to see how it was, because that's just I don't know, infamous type of horror movie where it's just
Yeah.
oh, it's Saw. And I watched it, and I really enjoyed it. I just binged through all of them in a week.
Yeah, you ripped through them. I remember.
Were you spoiling the twist for that one? Because I feel like on
No,
my
I wasn't
timeline, I
spoiling
always
this for
see.
any of them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always see the Jigsaw standing up on the bathroom floor. It's like, oh, what's the
Yeah.
twist of shock? And I see it all the time. So oh man, if you've not seen this movie, you're seeing this all the time. But that's good.
I think that was my perfectly balanced on being spoiled on some of the Scream ones. I just didn't know anything about Saw.
I feel like people never talk about the twists in Saw. Just people on the street, they always just talk about the
Yeah, I don't
torture
know.
porn element of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, the twists are why we're there. Let's be real.
Yeah.
right?
I love it. Yeah, those were my favorite part. You knew every movie there was something coming.
I was
at
always
the
trying to
end.
guess it. I think
Yeah.
I forget which one there is. There's no twists. I think maybe five
five,
or one of
yeah.
those. Yeah, and that
That
was
was,
the one where I was I didn't get the twist on any of the other ones. I was okay, this one I'm figuring it out, and I just thought of some crazy twist, and then nothing happened at the end.
It's a twist. It's just nothing. It's just he fools him, he tricks him. That's the twist, It's
I
he does.
love.
It's true. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
I
I
love-
honestly love the ending
Yeah.
of Saw 5. I really do. So
I love Hoffman, but yeah, the fact that was the twist and it got the
Yeah.
big Hello Zep music. It's just a box that goes into the ground and I fooled you. I was oh, okay. They really, yeah, that they
It
didn't.
was walk past them. That was the big epic moment.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of and that's why I'm interested with this one, but it's what we talked about in our review of Mission Impossible. It's just, it was Saw. It's okay. What do you there's nothing left. I feel like because they've done like the time turn kind of twist and different eras, and even the traps now. Like I like this idea of okay, so we were talking about the Discord of okay, it's that trap with the glass and his eyes are gonna get pulled out of his sockets, and it's a breaking. In which I had this conversation in a car with Emily if she would do it. She said absolutely, she's not getting her eyes pulled out. But so like it's pretty like the trap is the eye thing is new, but what you have to do is like I said, like we've seen a trap like this already where you have to like break your fingers. The only difference is this one like you have wraps around them like pull your fingers backwards. But even then I'm like okay, I feel like we're like what more is there to twist? What more is there to trap? But now we got a trap where someone's performing brain surgery on themselves. I'm like okay, well
What the
sure.
He's a doctor. He can do it.
Yeah. Clay, yeah, you're not gonna be there for that one.
Should I watch this franchise? I can't tell if you guys like genuinely like it.
They're
or-
so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
The twist for the first movie is
I've seen
generally
the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I-
the twist for that
I
first one
like
was like
it.
so amazing that I just like I need to watch all of these.
Yeah, I do like that twist in the first one, and then I've seen Spiral also, which I thought was like okay.
Yeah.
I don't know because I really like slashers and horror in general, but something about Saw, it's like it was so slow and punishing, and I was like, I don't know if I can. Like, it's not as fun to me, but maybe I'll try 2 and see how I feel about Saw 2, and then we'll see if I start watching them all.
2, lots of people put 2 over the first one because again I get it. Like 2, it's a really good backstory on John Kramer. You get lots of the whole mythology and why he does it and the origin. There's definitely some sequels like other slashers where like near the end it comes more about the traps. I think like Dylan said, we're there for the twists and the characters. Like I like the of course they're always fun, but if they didn't have the characters and the twists and the reveals, it wouldn't be as fun. I think definitely near the end of the franchise it becomes more about the traps, especially with Saw 3D. Like once they're like, oh, we can film these traps in 3D. Like all the traps suck in my opinion because it's just like, oh look, intestines coming. Like
They're
that's
just
where it's
so
like
bad, and like the reasonings for them are like so stupid. Like that first trap in Saw 3D is just it's so bad and just dumb. Like and Saw even it's like it seems like a dumb franchise, so they do think out like these twists and like plan them out, and it's just like I don't know, it's just lazy like Saw 7.
Yeah. And the thing that sucked too near the end of the franchise, they started doing a lot of traps where it's like somebody always has to die. Like that was always the fun of the beginning. Like everyone should be able to get out. But that trap you mentioned at the beginning, S-Bubs, it's like either you kill this girl or like you both die. And it's like, well, that doesn't make like I like the idea of okay, all 3 of you could work like in 5 when it's like hey, all of you could work together, but society and people being mad at each other. So I think this one looks like it's more back to basics. I don't know how I feel about it being a room full of people again because I think that like my 2 experiences with that is 5. I guess 2 was
Jigsaw.
well, that's okay. Jigsaw and 5, whereas when it's a trap of 5 to 6 people and you got to work together. And other than 2, which was great, and they're in the house, every other time it's not been good because I feel like you get very minuscule characters. You get I don't
kind
know.
of seems from the trailer that they're all in the same room, but it's like each of them like one person does a trap at a time, and the others are just like watching them. Like I don't think in the trailer I saw any traps that were like group traps. Like they just.
You don't think there will be one though? I bet there'll be at least one.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be I think it'll be the last one. Even if it's just like 2 people left, it'll be like a group trap.
See, and that's what I worry because that's gonna be the twist with 5, and even with Jigsaw, they did the Saw like 3-4 twist where it's like these things are happening at different times. Where it's like okay, like they're just.
I'm trying to think like what a new twist could be because I was even thinking like they've already done like the like person on the inside unless it's like everyone's in on it somehow or something like that. Like one like there's only one person who isn't in on it or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too because it's even like even in the time frame that it's in, right? It's like we kind of know the before and after, so I'm wondering what they're gonna do to kind of hit us with something at the end that's interesting,
Well, my favorite thing too is when the producers are like, "Oh, we're gonna answer things that have never been answered before." But I was like, I don't know what's left to answer. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing that I always worry about putting in this time frame because, like, okay, well. I feel like we know everything for the most part, other than stuff about Dr. Gordon. I don't think he's coming back. So I feel like everything with Amanda and Hoffman, like they gave us lots of flashbacks. So I don't know.
Wait, have you seen the trailer, the new trailer?
No,
Yeah.
actually, should I
Okay.
put myself on mute and watch it right now? Are we gonna keep talking about this, or should I watch it after?
You can watch it after. We'll move on
Okay.
in a second.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's
I'll check it out after. For
a
sure.
Saw trailer, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know any
I
Saw
like the
spoilers.
music.
Like I've seen the first one in Spiral, and I know nothing else of what happened. So I would be in good shape spoiler wise.
I'm with you, Clay. Yeah.
It's
I
like
really
what Dylan
like
says though. No one walks up and just says it because like with some of these twists, you have to explain like half an hour. Well, okay,
Right.
there's this doctor and there's this guy, and then she has a son, but they lost a son, and there's a husband over here, and he's in a different room. And I was like, I'm not watching these movies.
Yeah.
This guy killed Jigsaw's cousin. Remember that? Or the nephew, Dylan? Remember that in Jigsaw? The guy that killed Jigsaw's nephew by selling him a bad bike, and
I
then
don't remember
Jigsaw had to
that.
take
Oh,
it out
wow.
on him.
That's
I-
Jigsaw?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like,
Yeah.
I guess so. Jigsaw was 2017,
Yeah.
right? So we were on the retro in like 2016, 2017. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I have not rewatched any of them since that retro. So that was like a real fever dream time. That was very fun. But like, I am so foggy in a lot of these details. My movie memory, as you guys know, is not great in that way. So I definitely need to do a rewatch as well. But it's also that's a lot of movies for me to do in this short amount of time. So
Yeah.
I'll probably at least maybe do 1 and 2. So I'm like, okay, I'm in between this
Yeah,
timeline for
that
the new
works,
one.
yeah.
But I want to get to some of the Hoffman ones because I love him so much. So
Hoffman,
I do want to
yeah.
rewatch a lot of these. But yeah, some of these things that like I'm like I have seen all these, but I kind of forget some of these details and whatnot. So
I
Just do a
think
YouTube
when-
explainer.
yeah.
Just get one of those like a boot
Yeah.
up a 10-minute everything you need to know before you watch. you
I'm
know?
when
excited
you're
for the new
binging them like I did, it sort of becomes funnier just how they just flash back to like the same scenes like 17
Oh, yeah. You all
like
watch
Jill
the
getting hit by the
same
door.
Yeah. So
like it's
how-
it's not a funny scene, but when you've seen it like 10 times in a row, it just becomes funny.
and
you see
even
Tobin
when-
Bell close that bathroom door like 15 times in that series.
And when we were doing the retro, like I would watch the
God.
movie once through, and I didn't know what any of the twists were, and then I'd watch it again before the retro. So I'd watch all of them like twice just to see like how do I feel about this movie now that I know what the twist is and stuff too. And so yeah, that was a real intense few months, but it was very.
Which
good.
one's the one with the Chinese New Year? I remember laughing at that scene where he just grabs the guy in broad
3.
daylight.
Yeah,
I
because
love
he puts
Saw
on the
3, but
pig
it's
mask and he
it's
gets
hilarious.
inspired because he's found a pig mask somewhere, and like that's why he wears pig masks now because he like it was Chinese New Year, like it's just all that stuff,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the inspiration. But April, are you excited for that one?
Oh yeah, I love Saw.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for another one,
Yeah.
and the trailer looks really good.
April, you're excited too for the new Dracula movie. It's coming out soon, no? In a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
All right,
the
yeah.
Last Voyage of the Demeter. Yes, I'm
Nice.
very very excited.
Taylor's hyped for that one.
Yeah, I want to see the time. April, have you heard this other movie David Dastmalchian's doing about? He's a talk show host, and it's like with a cult and stuff like that. So
I don't
Kevin
think so.
Smith's been talking about it. Screen. I don't know if it's going to come out now, but I can't remember. It's like Late Night with the Devil, and it's this idea that he has like a guest on, and it's just a one set movie, and I guess it's about a cult. But then like it's like it turns into like an Evil Dead sort of situation where this person is, bad things are happening to them. But I think it's going to be shot in a way of like it looks like you're watching it on TV the whole time. Like, no, I'm sure there will be, but from the description of it, it sounded really good. And David Dastmalchian, he's like the David Letterman, Johnny
Oh.
Carson. Yeah.
Is that Late Night with the Devil?
Yes, I just heard about that a
I've
couple
heard of
weeks
that. That
ago.
sounds cool.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, everything Kevin Smith said about it, I was like, man, this sounds fucking awesome. And I love Dastmalchian.
When-
He's such a fun actor.
When does that come out, Travis?
No date. It's just been screening, and I think they
It was
screened at
test
Comic Con
screening
as
last
well.
year.
Yeah, and they just
I
did it at
almost saw
Comic
a
Con.
test screening of it in LA.
And I wonder if nobody's actually really bought it, that like anyone like a big distributor, but
They're
because
not.
he didn't even have a date. I just know they showed at
Wow.
Comic Con, and I keep just hearing good things about it, but I wonder if it's just because he's not a big name, and
That
I don't
sounds
know.
Cool though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't think the budget's that big because that's why Kevin Smith said like that inspired him. He's doing a movie next about just at a movie theater which he owns, but yeah, it's just like one set and it's just him having a guest on that has to do with Devil Cult, and then it goes very terrible and obviously all that
I
stuff.
know
so.
there's an episode of like the new like creep show series, like the Shudder one that
Oh, yeah?
I haven't seen the show, but I've wanted to see it. I forget what it's called, but it's very much an Evil Dead homage. I think Ted Raimi's even in it, but it's like
Oh yeah.
like a guy takes like the Necronomicon to like an antiques roadshow type thing
Oh,
and
that's
like
cool.
unleashes
That's a
it
good
there.
one.
Yeah.
Is it? When,
Yeah.
What is the status, April? Is Creepshow still doing new stuff? Are they done, or because I gotta catch
I-
up?
I don't. I thought maybe they were doing another season, but now
Okay.
it's probably on hold.
Okay. Oh yeah, I guess so. Right. Yeah, I got to catch up with the last season, that Christmas one too that you recommended. I'm gonna try to
I
do
love
that
that
soon.
so
That's a
much.
that's a good thing. The only good thing about the strike is with all the stuff getting delayed. I'm okay. I have this list now of movies and TV shows I'm gonna catch up on. But Creep Show, I want to, guys. I love Creep Show. So, but
I have a quick question for Dylan and Carl. Have you guys seen Barbie?
Yes,
Yeah.
I talked about it earlier.
Okay, cool. I'm
but
gonna watch it after.
you can go back and listen. But
Yeah.
my short review is I agree with Clay's rating of 2 out of 5 stars. Yeah,
yeah.
not my favorite.
I'm definitely gonna listen. After. What about Carl? Carl, how was? Did you see Barbie?
No, I didn't see it. My
Okay.
kids did, and her mom, and they didn't like it, so they probably give it about a 2 as well.
About a 2.
Fair enough.
God damn.
Yeah.
Hurts the soul.
Just based on them.
Travis, I saw the pic you put out. That looks like an awesome movie for the drive-in. It looked like
Yeah.
it looked beautiful. Just that setting, especially the pic you took of the Space Odyssey intro. That looks nice.
Yeah, it was tons of fun. I was going back and forth because I always plan with a drive-in. I'm like, hey, what's picking? Get it? I was like that or the Barbie land, but like I got to go for the Space Odyssey one.
Yeah.
It looks so good. No, it was a fun time. It was good. I like seeing movies the second time at the drive-in. I'm not a big first-time guy. We did that during COVID because they would show, like we saw Quiet Place there, but just because audio is always a little, the music is always perfect and the audio where we are is always, it's always like and you don't want to turn up too much because in the second you go, like John Wick was like that. I was on that dial back and forth. Luckily I'd seen the movie, so I knew stuff was coming, but it'd be like, yeah, and then it's just like because those gunshots in those movies are loud, you know. So
did you go with the family? The second
yeah, we did.
time?
Yeah, we took the 2 kids because at least when I saw Barbie the first time, I knew it's not that bad. It's I say the best way for comparison, it's like Shrek humor, where if there's jokes that are inappropriate, they wouldn't understand it.
Right.
Where I actually didn't think it was going to be like that. I thought it would be. They liked it for the most part. They liked it up until the end when it got very psychological, and it gets more serious near the end, Maddie, and that's where it's less more about like Barbie and a good time and more about like, you know, who are you as a person and all this stuff. So that's when Gwen was like, is it over? And then about 2 minutes later she gets over. I'm like, does it look over? Nope. And then she kept like she's old enough to know when it's over. She knows what credits are and stuff. She knows there's after credit scenes, but they loved like the first, but they both stayed up as a surprise. So, and then we put them in bed for no hard feelings. And I want to ask, man, I saw you watch Joyride. I'm the same. I haven't rated it yet on Letterboxd, but I'm the same as you, where I don't know if it's in April you gave it a 5.
I loved
Actually,
it. Yeah.
Yes. I think for me, it's people. I really liked it, but I think people hyped it for me because people kept saying it was the next Hangover, and I watched. I really liked it, but I didn't have like, I didn't like laugh at everything. Like the cast was really good, but I just I was expecting a lot more. But Stephanie Shu is, man, she's great in everything. She's the best part of that movie. But
I'm the same exact boat. I really enjoyed it. I did laugh at there were like multiple parts that I was laughing at. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
I found the whole cast was great. I liked the performances, but I think it was just like the hype that I was hearing building up to it. Because I heard the same thing, that I was like one of the best comedies ever, and for me, like it didn't reach that level, but it was still good. I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was good.
Yeah. Well, April, you gave it 5 stars, right? So you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it a lot. SPUBs, you'll probably like it.
I know some people told me I like it because one of like not really. I don't know if it's like a problem I had with No Hard Feelings, but I felt like there wasn't really like enough comedy. I guess like the way it was marketed, like it was a lot more
lots of
emotional.
raunch in this one. Yeah.
People told me like if you want more of that, see Joyride, and you'll probably like it. And I feel like you'll probably will.
Yeah. There is a really good running gag that pays off with like a certain aspect, and it just was like I had to rewind because I got on VOD and I missed it. There's April, man, you know what I'm talking about. I missed the initial thing, and Emily's face was shocked, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta go back because they actually showed this thing," and I was very surprised they showed it. And I was like, "Oh my, it was
that was wonderful."
I still enjoyed it. I think it was just that, and I'm actually probably more excited to watch it a second time at some point because the expectations will be better. But the cast is like they all got good chemistry and whatnot, and also this is not a big spoiler because they showed in the first 5 minutes of the movie. There's this woman, because Emily and I were talking about this, she showed me she's all about sex positivity, and she's working on this like sex playground. Did you know that they built a slide in Richmond, the penis and vagina slide? They built that but it's not in the movie. So they
No
must have
way.
cut it. So I wonder if they were going to build the whole park and it got too expensive, or there's a deleted scene. But yeah, you can look it up, Maddie, because Emily saw the slide and she's like, I've seen the slide before, which I had to question her about. But she's like, I've seen the slide before. And yeah, it even says like, oh, it was filmed for this. So they actually, I guess, started to build the sex playground, but I guess they didn't use it, or they deleted the scene. So
Wow, were they filming in Richmond?
they were, yeah,
No way.
I guess.
Wow, I didn't
But
know
yeah,
that.
and
Cool.
they took down the slide. The slide's no longer there in Richmond, honestly. And it's literally a slide, but it just looks like a phallic symbol going into something. But
That's awesome.
yeah,
Did Emily like Barbie? What did you think of it?
yeah, I think she's probably more on my wavelength and stuff. That's what I mean. Until I met Clay and now Dylan, it's like I've been in this Barbie bliss of everyone loving it. Just I'm just like Barbie bliss the first 20 minutes. We're all just having a great life, and Dylan and Clay are like, "You ever think about dying?" And I'm like, "Those Barbies." Like, what do you say? Like, no, I don't want to think about that. But no, it's good. It's
Question
it'll make Golden Geeks more interesting too when we get down to it, because you know, when we all just love something, that makes it easy. Like, okay, this is in this and this, and now it's like, okay, that's when you start making those deals too. Like, I'll give you Gosling if you can give me, you know, this guy and stuff.
It's
you know?
corrupt. It's
And Taylor
corrupt.
always ends up on the bad end of the deal.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
year.
Poor guy.
The Green Goblin hallway.
Oh yeah,
fight.
hallway fight scene.
I had to watch that last week because Gwen wanted to watch it. Every time I get that scene, I just think of Taylor just being so
Forever,
disappointed. Two
yeah.
Golden Geeks in a row, like not enough to take it. Like Taylor would reenact that scene every time. Oh man. And then finally, to end it off here, I want to go around because maybe even if you haven't watched it, I just want to know. And you know, I'll start with you, Espouse. What do you think? What are you laughing at, Clay? Or Kirkland? What do you?
No, I was just. Are you talking about Marvel now?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, when I popped
end
up,
us
when I
off,
pulled
yeah.
up YouTube to go to the Saw trailer, the first video that I saw, it just said, "What the fuck happened with Secret Invasion?" That was like the
Is
the
it Amelia
thumbnail,
Clarke
and then it's
as
Amelia
Drake?
Clark with the
Yeah,
arm.
no.
Yeah.
That
made me
they
laugh
should have
so hard.
never done that. That image has been everywhere in my time. Like that is the new. Like it's, and you just never want to be that way. You like because the Flash had that for a while. There was a Flash when he's holding the baby and putting it in the microwave. Like that was that image. Like now, every time people tell the MCU and want a dog on it, they're gonna show that picture of Amelia Clark with Drax's arm, and it's just like they just should have never. Because again, I don't even think it makes context in the fight where she's just like showing off. Like yeah, I got
She
it.
doesn't
Like,
even use it, I think, right?
no, like they just should have never done that. And now like Feige's getting bopped on because like the director's like, oh yeah, that was Feige's idea, that whole fight. He's like, he really wanted to have two Super Skrulls fight, and that's where it's like, and then I'm not gonna go too hard on him because I remember Black Widow, the director wanted to cut the dinner scene, and she was like, what are you doing? So he's had great ideas before. He just missed on this one. I don't think this was the greatest idea to have the Skrull fight in this thing and everything. But yeah, that I've seen that image everywhere, Kirkland. Everywhere. That Amelia Clark image is gonna be burned in my mind now. Like I see already the Phase 5, like MCU Phase 5, what went wrong. And it's just gonna be her. It's gonna be her with red eyes. It's gonna be her with red
I
eyes.
saw a popular tweet that said something like Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer Super Scroll CGI look better.
Yeah. Start with the US, but I was going to say, well, obviously, you know, we're all in Discord, so we kind of know we talk about all this stuff. But overall, what do you think of Secret Invasion? And where are you with Marvel? Because that was like the Secret Invasion chat turned into we reviewed the finale to everyone talking about like their concerns or their maybe lack of excitement and stuff going on. Because this year we got what left? Loki, Echo, and the Marvels.
I forgot about
Potentially.
Echo.
Yeah. You forgot about the Marvels?
About Echo. I
Oh
remember
yeah.
Marvels and
Day one
Loki-
binge.
Loki.
All of it. Yeah.
I don't know. I ended up bringing my score down for Secret Invasion to like a 2.5 because three stars I'll give a show or like a movie if I enjoyed it, even if it's not that good, I'll give it like the 3. But then this is like I don't know. I can't give it the 3
Yeah.
because it's like there's parts of it or like
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm never gonna rewatch
back.
this.
Yeah. I
I'd rewatch. Like I have this at like 3rd worst, but I could see myself putting it down to like all the way to the worst. Because even then, like stuff I don't like I don't know, like Thor, like even like Dark World.
Mhm.
I could see myself rewatching just to be like, I haven't seen this in a long time,
Yeah.
or like I might like something about it, or like Hulk that I don't like that much. Like I would rewatch Hulk over Secret. Like at least it's not like how long is Secret Invasion? Like let's just say 6 hours long. Like I could see myself rewatching Hulk over that.
How I wonder without credits how long it actually. It's probably more like three.
Those
and a
last
half
3
hours,
episodes
right?
are like 20 minutes
Yeah.
long. I feel
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Probably not
That's
too
what I was
long.
gonna ask. Is anybody that's watched Secret Invasion, would everyone find themselves rewatching it?
I already rewatched it.
Whoa!
Hey,
Better
I haven't
reverse on the
rewatched
rewatch.
any of the Marvel shows
Seriously?
though, to be fair. Like I've never rewatched
Okay.
any of them.
Did you like the show, April?
I mean, I'm definitely higher on it than the rest of you, but
Yeah.
I mean, I still have it pretty low on the list. I wanted to go back and watch like the older scenes with Rhodey and like stuff that I missed. And
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've rewatched Loki and WandaVision, and I think that I there's a couple I rewatched. I don't count because I had to rewatch them when Emily and kids hadn't seen them. But Loki and WandaVision are the only two I sought out to go. Okay, I'm gonna watch it start to finish again, and I probably will again in the future. So
She-Hulk is like the most rewatchable for me, and I'll just put on the
Yeah.
Daredevil episode. And just
yeah, yeah. And man, I can't remember you because you hadn't watched all Secret Invasion, right? I think you were going back and forth. Even Clay too was going back and forth if you guys were going to finish it or not. So I can't remember what was your status on it and what are you feeling about Marvel for the rest of the year and just going forward right now?
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes. I thought they were fine. Like I didn't think they were bad. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't really hooked in. And then I just never got back to it. And then with the finale, I saw I saw everyone's reactions. I ended up listening to the GV review. At that point, I was just like, I just pulled the plug. I was like, yeah, I want to listen. I want to listen to what everyone's talking about. And I saw the spoiler chat too. I kind of read through it, and once I saw that pick, I kind of knew.
it was done.
I kind of knew. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna end up watching this. So I don't think I'll ever get to it. And I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough as a comic fan. Like I'm happy. I don't want to complain about the amount of stuff we're getting, but when it's not good, then that's kind of where it. Wow, the ledge
Comes in for the last 10
Yay.
minutes, you know.
I'm happy.
I was
here,
told
man.
12 o'clock.
I want to tell you congrats in
I was
person,
told
man.
12 o'clock.
Congrats face to face. I know I wrote to you privately, but that's sick that you're here. I wanted to give you a congratulations, man. How's everything?
About what?
About everything that's going on.
You just had a child.
Oh yeah, that was a good minute ago. Yeah.
Taylor's like, I'm over it. Yeah.
How's everything going, man? How's the baby? How's everything?
Oh, good. You know,
Yeah,
like
good.
lack of sleep, but working hard, and it's like just balances the scales.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
But thank you.
Glad you popped in.
That's hilarious.
What about you?
Hi, everyone.
Taylor.
This is Taylor Field. Yeah, we're just talking about Secret. What about you, Clay? Where are you on? Obviously, Secret Invasion not the highest, but where for the rest of the year as for Marvel's goes and your excitement?
Yeah, no, my Secret Invasion thoughts can be summed up by like that one scene that I think Taylor was making fun of. Where he's like, it's like where Ben Mendelsohn's character has to deliver that monologue about like his plan of how the Skrulls are going to be. I'm going to go to the president and I'm going to tell him, I'm going to explain everything, and he'll let us stay here. That cracked me up. And it just got worse and worse from there for me. I don't know. I didn't really like it at all. I think I said in the Discord, like with Marvel, I wish they would cross over a little more, because in the past when I haven't liked Solo Project, like I really didn't like the Doctor Strange movie, the first one. And then when Doctor Strange started crossing over in the other movies, he became one of my favorite characters. So I wish they would start throwing in like Shang-Chi, for example. I really liked him. Or like I wish he had, I don't know, nothing that Marvel's doing really feels that big to me anymore. It feels like budgetary stuff, like they can't afford to put certain people in certain movies or something. I don't totally know what's going on.
But then
it all
212
feels-
million budget, so that's the thing.
I
Where's
know,
the money going?
right.
You know.
So I don't know where the money's going. It all just feels like it's
Going to Quantumania. They need
Yeah,
they need
I
the
guess
money
so.
for the CGI.
I don't know. So that's my hope. But I canceled my Disney Plus after Secret Invasion because I was like,
god!
I have it until I think October. So I'll watch Ahsoka, and then I think I'm kind of out.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably come back to Marvel for like Captain America, and then if I like Captain America, I'll go back and watch the ones I missed. But
Are
I
you
don't
even
know.
going to see the Marvels in the theater if it comes out this year?
Maybe if not much else is coming out, but I know that's
Yeah,
like
true.
around Dune for now, and Dune's my most anticipated movie of the year. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I lose Dune, I'll probably go see Marvels just because I'll be bummed.
I feel like Marvel's is that sort of like crossover from different characters.
That's
from
true.
different projects.
That's true. Yeah,
The
that's true.
culmination
And
of-
I do like Brie Larson, so maybe I'll go check that out. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. What about you, April? Also, obviously, Secret Invasion you were more higher on, but do you have any kind of concerns with Marvel going forward? Are you still kind of good on most of the stuff happening, or
No, I think it's normal for any franchise or IP to go up and down. So
yeah,
I'm not surprised that stuff isn't going great. I obviously really disliked Quantumania, so
yeah,
but I think it'll be fine. And I think especially with like the Marvels and when the Guardians of the Galaxy, when you get like the
hmm
the bigger, happier ones, I think there's a lot of kids that go see it that don't care about
no, yeah.
quality.
Yeah, I hope the Marvels is like just a really good time because that'll lessen the blow. Loki, like I said, I'm so mixed on Loki. I don't know because that's a believe it and see it for me again because no showrunner, not no showrunner. They didn't just go in there like okay, let's like just that we lost the showrunner and the writer. I was always mad. And Echo, like I said, I've not that I've written Echo off, but Echo just has like a huge like asterisk by it right now because I still don't understand, especially if we're in a strike, why they're gonna drop that all day one when they're gonna need content like that. To me is like
They still have time, in my opinion, to change the I don't know, Disney
they
Plus Day.
have
They
to
say like we're releasing it, even if they did which I don't
two
think they would do,
episodes.
but even over every not every day, they could try that, I guess. Like if it's
Oh
over
fuck no,
a
S Bubs.
Thanksgiving
Don't
break.
put that on us. Don't put an everyday release. That sounds like that could be the worst week of my life. Every day reviewing Echo. Like I'm
Every
excited.
episode just bad.
Yeah, just Monday to Saturday we're
Here we
going
are again,
live.
day 3.
Yeah, reviewing Echo. You know what? Actually, it
Still
would be a
no
fun
sleep.
experiment. Yeah, still no sleep, but
Put it
oh,
over
man.
Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving week. You just have an episode every day.
For some reason, every episode's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, these
Just
are
the
the
one
ones where
they're
no
doing
rush.
full episodes, so
Yeah.
hour-long episodes.
It has that
Do you-
secret 7th episode too. Yeah.
Do you guys think that they'll like drop Echo on like ABC or something like they did with Miss Marvel before the Marvels comes out?
Hmm.
I
Maybe
mean,
not
they
this
only
year, but
do it
next
a
year.
while after for all the
Yeah.
ones
Yeah.
they're done, except
But I just think
Andor,
they're
which is
gonna
a month
like
after.
not have content, so they might
Mm-hmm.
just drop it all day one on Disney Plus, then spread it out on
Yeah,
ABC.
Make
Yeah.
some money elsewhere.
What's going on with Disney and like ABC and ESPN? Because I know they just laid off a ton of people from ESPN.
It sounds
Rumors
like
they
they're
might
trying to
sell
sell
it.
them. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Which
So
is
yeah, I
crazy
don't
to
know if
think
that
about.
affects. I don't know if that affects any of what you're saying, April.
True.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's why I could see it like early next year. That could be a time they'll probably let it go in the fall, unless it's kind of like Andor where nobody watches it. I feel like that's why they did Andor. Of like, hey, get this on, like, and even Secret like the show. It's funny the shows like Andor and Secret Invasion and Miss Marvel. Those are the shows that had like some of the lower viewership numbers for like both brands, right? So if Echo is not watched, I could see them. Yeah, let's put on there. Where you've not seen WandaVision on TV, you've not seen Loki. Like they could have put WandaVision on TV right before Doctor Strange, right, to like promote that, but they didn't. So I feel like if Echo, which I don't think, if Secret Invasion couldn't even hit 1 million viewers its first week, I don't think Echo is. I don't think anyone knows, even if they've seen She or Hawkeye and they're in the Marvel thing. You walk up to people and ask who Echo is, they don't know who Echo is. There's no like, it's just, and like unfortunately, like I like the actress, but she's not like a massive star. I just think they got to really hit on the Daredevil Kingpin in the advertising. They got to go hard on that to get just people, because I could see that being another one that people just skip and they're like, I'll just wait for Daredevil.
If they're all on the same day, within like 5 minutes on Twitter, you'll get like every Daredevil scene in Echo compilation.
Yeah, the weekend you'll have the YouTube video, right? If you want to watch all the Daredevil scenes, it'll probably be like 15 minutes when it's all like said and done or something. You can watch it right there. So
I also saw something that apparently like the rumors that Dune is gonna have like IMAX exclusivity for forgot how many weeks,
5
which
to
would
6.
mean like the Marvels would be like the first MCU movie in like I think over a decade to have like not have that IMAX on opening weekend.
Yeah,
Really?
Wow.
yeah.
Weird.
That is if Dune stays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a question if any of them moves. But yeah, that's because Warner Brothers signed like some exclusive deal with IMAX. But yeah, Marvel's they should delay. They should go next year, because if the strike goes really bad, all they have next year is just Captain America, and then you can at least space them out. Like I don't think they need, and I don't think the Marvel's gonna do that great with Dune happening. It's the week after, right? I think it is, or is it the week before?
I think.
Yeah,
because
so-
the IMAX would go over it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's Dune, Captain Marvel, and then Hunger Games the next week.
Yes.
But then some people are saying maybe that Dune IMAX thing isn't true, because I think there's some other thing that like Hunger Games is getting IMAX. So then people are saying that other report might not be true. So who knows?
Which Hunger Games, I'm curious because when both Barbie screenings, the first one, not so much the second one because it's hard to hear. Like I said, it's outside, but the first one, it was a younger crowd. People were getting like I could hear people moving in their seats and talking about Hunger Games. Which
People did like the whistle when the trailer ended in my
God.
theater because they do that at the end of the trailer. They play it for like 1 second.
Yeah. And that's when I wondered, I was like, is the demographic aged out? And maybe it's not. Maybe there's enough people that are still, that's getting passed on. It's kind of in the zeitgeist. And I didn't know, especially because like the last Hunger Games, I think, did like the lowest out of all 4 of them. So I thought, oh, this is kind of dying off. But, and I guess you
feel
got
like
Rachel
this could
Zellweger.
It's been
she's
a
got
while.
older. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people haven't read like this Hunger, like this Songbird and Snakes one, but a lot of people will just see like, oh, Hunger Games, sort of like with the first Fantastic Beasts. Like I don't think a lot of people actually read like that Fantastic Beasts book, but they're like, oh, more Harry Potter. Like I'm gonna see this.
Yeah. So they get one shot. They get one shot to keep them around because
Yeah.
you know they want to do 3 of these.
But the rumor with this one too, or not really rumor, because I guess this is part of the book, is like the games isn't really a big part of it. They're saying like it's only like the second act of the movie. Like it'll be going to the games for a little bit, and then the rest is like everything after the games. So.
Yeah,
you can tell from those trailers.
A lot of them are about the
politics. There's like 5
Yeah.
scenes of the games.
Because I've read
all
that.
in one big room.
Oh yeah, okay. And that's what's interesting because I feel like there's tons of people though with that back half fell off because they're like, I like the game. So I feel like they're gonna mismarket the movie and make you think, oh, it's about this game, the first game, and then because you
it's not
see,
the first game.
or is it not?
Yeah, it's like the 11th game or
Yeah.
something like that.
It's the first game where they make it an
Okay.
event. Because it used to
Okay,
be
thank
just
you,
like
there you
they'd throw all the kids in a big room and be like, kill each other. And then
Okay. So this is the first Super Bowl WrestleMania.
where they decide that
okay.
they want to make it more of an event and they start the pageantry that
Yeah.
you see in the later ones.
Because you can tell because Snow has the long hair and then he has the buzz cut and it's like, oh, that buzz cut is all post the battle and he's buzz cut a lot of the movie, so it's like, oh, this is gonna that's not a theater one for me. That's definitely a VOD one. I'll check it out, but I don't think I'm gonna be, unless there's like Clay said with Marvels, if there's a lack of movies, then maybe I'll go, okay, let's go check out that on like a Tuesday, but I don't need to. Again, I also pitched a Hunger Games retro and no one wanted to do that, so it's like, hey, we're all gonna skip that one. We don't need to.
I don't remember that conversation.
I do not remember that conversation.
No,
I
Travis,
definitely
That was a
I
fucking
definitely
dream you
pitched
had.
it.
That was a
I-
dream you had. That was
No.
This is not a democracy.
I would have
guys.
joined for that.
I definitely pitched it. I don't think Dylan gave a response. Kirkland gave some gift that was very in the middle of kind of like whatever you guys. And
Did you
Taylor
ask
was
like the
like,
Facebook chat in which I don't have
No,
a Facebook account? Or
I
something?
think it was on the Discord, and Taylor was like, because this is how I was looking at what do we do in the fall? Because I pitched Exorcist, and Taylor's like, no, things might haunt me, so that was gone. And then Hunger Games, like there's no excitement, so that's why
I
got
also
the
don't
messages
remember
to
this
prove
Exorcist
this?
thing. I feel like you're not putting this chat in a place that I
Exorcist-
can read.
Ex-
Exorcist
back 'em
was
up
definitely
on.
Facebook. I don't think I pitched that to you, Dylan, because I don't think you
Well-
would have been on board with that.
There you go. I don't know. Clearly, I'm clearly
Hunger
left out of the
Games-
argument. Come on.
Hunger Games
retro.
I'm sticking with. Yeah, but yeah, no, we'll be doing some. We're gonna be starting Ape soon and finish X-Men. So Carl, you can end us off here because I don't think I doubt you've seen Secret Invasion. So that's what I was gonna ask you. I don't know what's gonna get you back into Marvel. I'm just assuming, because I'm
I've
talking
watched
to you a while. so.
every single Marvel thing that's been out.
Even
I
Secret
watched everything.
Invasion.
Yeah, it was absolutely
Did you love
shite,
it?
But I watched it.
Okay.
I like again. There was nothing really wrong with it, but there was also nothing right.
Oh.
You know, it was just like there was no excitement. I didn't care
Schottenheimer.
what was. Yeah, I just didn't care. There was like the acting was fine, some of the CG was fine, but it was just meh. There was something I didn't need. Like I could have not watched it for 6 months. I don't think I would have missed anything.
Yeah.
I feel like you need some.
Definitely
You get some good YouTube numbers, Lord Carl, because you'd have like a title and a thumbnail that would completely like not make sense. Like the thumbnail be very negative, or the topic be very positive, and or vice versa.
You get a lot of
And you'd-
interaction of people in the comments being like, "This is clickbait."
Yeah, and then each review is there's good stuff, bad stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was just meh.
Yeah.
That's what
Like
I
there was no
thinking.
bad acting that I really noticed. It was well made,
Yeah.
but it was just a boring story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that like there's a bunch of interviews now with like the director and stuff like that, and a couple of headlines. I clicked on a couple and read some of it, and they're like, oh yeah, we're like still like editing it as the first episode's coming out. We're still figuring out. We're still finding the story. And like, that does not seem like a good way to
Yeah.
make a show like this. And then also, I saw this one. I only read the headline, so you can pull a Taylor on this one. I didn't see what the actual quote was, but he's like, yeah, I don't read bad reviews. And it's like, you gotta.
Oh yeah, he said something that's like,
see
it's
some
like
negative
I don't
feedback
care
to-
about bad reviews because if every movie had good reviews, they'd all be making $1 billion.
It made
That's
no
something
sense.
he
It was the
said.
most Ryan Gosling can Zoolander quote when he's like, if all movies had good reviews, they'd be making $30 billion at the box office. And I was like, what's the negative punchline? Like, your product would be success. Like, it made no sense. Like, yeah, if we got good reviews, we'd be making a bunch of
If
money.
your
But I don't-
shows like University, people are saying the finale is shit and it's horrible, and people are canceling Disney Plus. Like, I feel like you should at that point maybe check out some bad reviews. See, like even two bad reviews, you can see what the general consensus is, and do better in the future. But I don't know.
It was,
Not
it-
much
it-
faith
it's
if they
been weird.
put that guy as the director of another series. I'll be wary.
Yeah.
What is the next series coming out?
Loki.
Loki in October.
And then Echo.
Okay, well that'll probably do better just because it's Loki, just for the name. But
Hopefully,
Yeah.
help them.
I hope. Unless they're still
Yeah.
finding the story while editing the finale.
We're finding out how to
Yeah.
edit Jonathan Majors out still.
Yeah, they got that to worry about too, right? I forgot.
What is happening with that? When do we learn more?
I think it's not till like the fall. His
Never.
next court is November. Yeah, so after the show
They're just gonna make him
premieres.
quietly disappear. You never
Yeah,
hear
boy.
anything again.
Because
There's rumors that they have a
we got
cut
that
that is less of him.
we got that one thing where it seemed like she had, and I was like, oh, like it seems like he's okay, but then there's a lot more. Like it's not even close to.
Yeah.
It's like, oh boy.
No, I've heard
He's
there's
gonna
ways
do more.
that it could end where it's like he could stay or you could recast. I think they did some reshoots before strikes. So I think they're leaving the door open. But November, that's a very close window there. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But well, Taylor, you have anything to say before we end this?
Oh, character development, Secret Invasion, just not, Maria Hill.
No, I just meant in general. We know what you feel about Secret Invasion. But that's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
That's okay.
Taylor, what did you think?
Yeah,
Pull
of
up this
Barbie?
Taylor Field quote right here. Rinky dinky pussyfoot around.
What's your Barbie review, Taylor? I know you went on the review with the guys. So
I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars.
okay.
There you go.
Maddie wasn't here for. I told everyone your first quote when I walked up to you. And
Oh,
he said,
okay.
"Yeah, I walked up to Taylor because he saw it with me in the car. He's like, that was more depressing than I thought it would be." But then I was very shocked to see 4 stars. So
But I mean, No Hard Feelings. That was also the double feature film. I love No Hard
Nice.
Feelings. Like that was like.
yeah, so that was a better movie, and I had to tell him no longer talk to me. There's like I like No Hard Feelings, but like the craftsmanship of Heart and Soul.
You messaged
put
me
into-
like Taylor. We're gonna go see No Hard Feelings at drive-in, right? Yeah. That's what you messaged
What?
me. with.
That's how you got him.
I'm kidding. We're not there for Barbie. We're there for No Hard Feelings.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone that joined. This was fun. Next time, sorry, Carl. It'll probably be a nighttime again in August, but
I'll be there. You know how I
Yeah.
roll.
Heck yeah.
We expect your Barbie. Or, actually, no, you don't got to see Barbie. We don't expect that. We
No.
expect you to see
Don't say.
Blue Beetle. Maybe it'll be after Blue Beetle. You've seen that? You're a
Oh yeah, I'll
DC guy,
definitely
right?
be watching Blue
Yeah.
Beetle. Yep.
Okay.
I'll be on
Anybody
that.
else? Hands. Anyone seen Blue Beetle?
I'll
least
probably
one.
see it.
Okay. Okay.
I see everything.
I've already skipped a few DC
Yeah,
movies
true.
to be fine with
Yeah.
skipping some of them.
Clay, you don't
After
count.
how
You
good
said
The
you're going to see it
Flash
because you
was.
felt bad for people.
Well, that is gonna be such a bomb. I do feel kind of.
But what-
It's
The
like watch,
reason I
still
watched
watch.
Transformers is because I felt bad. There was this account on Twitter that was called like it was called like Transformers trailer updates, and this guy was so hyped for the movie like months in advance. Like any piece of marketing, he was so excited, and then he's posting like, "Guys, I'm seeing Transformers today, so excited!" And then he takes a picture of him in the theater or video, and he's like, "Guys, there's no one here." I felt so bad.
I remember because it was said what happened. I remember it was a trending, and then after he's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. There's people. I got to enjoy it myself." But that was one of the best memes for things this summer. Just this guy so hyped, and then
Clay,
empty theater for.
Are you
Transformers.
feeling bad for the fans of Blue Beetle or the people that worked on Blue Beetle?
I guess the people who work on it, but I also don't care because they're making a lot more money than I am. They don't have to. They don't
Not
have
all
to
of
go out
them.
on the weekend.
not the crew people. You know?
Yeah,
Walk
some
around
of them are
and
not.
get sunburned.
Not the CGI.
See Zack
artists,
Snyder
yeah.
promoting Blue Beetle today.
That was very odd. Very out of all, he's not
Really?
tweeted about DC at all other than his stuff. And then today he's like, I can't wait to see Blue Beetle. And now
He got
everyone's
50K to do that.
Yeah. everyone's gonna be like, oh, he's back. He's coming back. Him and James are talking. I guarantee fucking to you. That's gonna be
Is
the
he
new
not?
fucking.
Is he not in the WGA?
He definitely is.
So he can't say that, can he?
Well, he didn't
It's not
work
his
on the
movie.
project though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Okay.
You're just like, oh, I'm excited to see.
You're just
Right,
not allowed to
it's a
promote
thing.
yours.
Okay.
So.
Right.
Okay.
It's just odd. It was very strange. I don't know.
But just quickly for Blue Beetle, for those of you who said you plan on going, if the reviews are really bad, are you still going to see it in theaters?
I'm gonna go
I'd
see it
probably
when it
skip
comes
it.
out. So
I'd skip Shazam, even though I saw it when it hit Max and I actually liked it. I probably would have liked it if I saw it in theaters, but I was just like, no, I'm not seeing this.
I'm a completist, so I just want to finish them.
There
I
you
just
go.
want to
So
go
that'll
to
be
the
the
movies.
last.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll do more early screenings like they did for The Flash. Have like
No.
10,000 early screenings.
Fan-
I'd see it then.
I'm fine with that. I just didn't understand with the Flash why they didn't charge anybody. That made no sense. They did like
They had a
hundreds and
few,
hundreds
like
of
the ones
screenings.
up in like the last 2 weeks you did have to pay for, but the other ones were all free.
Did everybody like the Flash, or where did you land?
Yeah.
I
I
liked
liked it. I liked
Yeah,
it.
8.
It was fine.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't get why it just failed. It just made no sense. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I really
Yeah,
liked
it's
the
just-
first scene with the babies, and then it was all downhill from there.
I thought the baby scene was
That was the
hilarious.
opposite. I hated
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
baby
why I
scene.
thought it was
The
I
baby
thought it was a
was
good.
so
I think that's a
funny.
good
It was
scene.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah, when it drops on Max, I'm just gonna watch that scene and then be done.
That'd be
Yeah,
dumb.
I didn't like anything inside the Time Force. It was just awful. It was terrible. But other than that, the rest of the movie, he actually was really good. He surprised
Yeah.
me because I hated him as the Flash, but he done well.
Yeah.
He's an
I
asshole.
liked all the humor. I liked all the humor. Nothing else really
Yeah.
worked for me.
Yeah. Well, until August. So yeah, that'll be the next one, probably after Blue Beetle, because we can talk about that and see. Maybe it's a surprise. Maybe it'll do better than projected, but probably not. So
Post-credit scene with the peep from Peacemaker again.
Well,
yeah,
right.
or
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
That's why he tweeted about it. It's just Zack. He's like, "Oh, you want to join the Snyderverse?
Exactly.
We're going to
wish.
Netflix.
I'm
Just
assembling
go
the
super
crew.
meta. Yeah, just go meta with it. He's just there on
He's growing
set.
out with him. He's growing out with him.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he's part of the Screen Actors Guild, so he could probably act. Perfect. So, anyways, thank you everyone for joining. We'll speak in the Discord always in August. So it's a great idea, Kirk.
Yeah. Take care,
See
guys.
ya.